Because that's what we do here at Sporking News
Well,
Podcast.
I mean, as long as people realize what's happening, it makes all the difference. And I'll talk to you about it later. Once we go live, I'll bring it up again.
That was gold, man. That was gold. But you should really put some clothes on. Okay?
My camera's
Kinky.
off.
Kinky shit.
Oh shit! Am I...
2023. Legion of Memers. Oh man, I didn't think you were gonna do it. I was gonna say Legion of Memers and me. We got one here. Horny out. The bada do. Is that what I say? You weren't even on, buddy. Okay, now you are, but this is mine. Ba-doo.
Wow, you were way off, bro.
I was not. I was hesitating for... Let's hear yours. Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Right on.
That was terrible.
By the way, people don't hesitate and go early. That's not how hesitation works.
I thought you said... Oh, I was early?
It's a pre-hesitation. It's a new thing.
All right, it was pre... It was... Yeah. I don't like... Let's not talk about that. Don't worry, Scott. It's Saturday. I make it for those sometimes. I said Scott. My name's Scott. His name's Alex.
Who's
all good.
Alex?
Alex Moore, baby.
Morrissey?
Yeah, Grant agrees with that.
Are we talking about Morrissey?
Like the
I like that
singer?
guy.
Like he's always sad?
No, the dude that writes for Red State or whatever.
No.
Brandon.
Look at me. I'm mad. I know people. Hello, everybody. It is the dump. It is the 2023, the first big dump of the year. My name is Scott. This is Sporking News Podcast, and this is the panel of amazing people I have with me. How is everybody doing tonight? We will start off with the lady, Jane Theory. How are you, Jane?
Good. Happy to be here.
I'm glad you are here. Always makes us seem smarter. Thank you for being here. We also have an Aussie who's in the future, Mr. Grant Gregory.
Hold on, real quick. Can I disagree with that, Jane? You do not make us seem smarter. You are smarter than us. I don't know why Scott says it as if you're so dumb. It makes us look better.
Yeah,
My goodness.
Oh, is that kind of what I meant?
That's
reverse
and you say
that.
this every week, by the way.
Do I do?
Yes.
Jane, you always knew what I meant, though, right?
Yeah.
It's because I'm
Because
dumb.
she's smart.
You're
Intentions
smart.
don't matter.
I'm dumb.
A couple of ways
You're
you could
good
take that.
looking.
That's right.
I'm balding. Or bald. I'm bald. Talking about another bald guy, Grant. Grant, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Jane always makes me feel dumb, because that's the right way of saying it. 'Cause she's
Okay.
so smart.
Okay. Okay, we'll work on that, guys.
I'm glad I never learned that guy's name.
Well, I remember
Or how to
Mark's
pronounce
47. Who?
No, the one before that. Oh, is that mad? Oh no. Yeah, that's why I don't learn your name.
Mikael Woof from New Zealand. Eh?
He's from New
Yeah,
Zealand.
do your Batman. Hold on, do your Batman.
And Beatman.
See?
I'm from New Zealand. Quackas.
Quackus. The people love you down there, man.
Hell yeah, they do.
That's what he's saying. You're back. Well, Mad, you're back.
Well, the
How are
no
you?
part kind of threw it off. I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. Just got a big sponsor. Excited about that for the channel.
For my channel.
Well,
It's for mine.
I could put in a good word. Anyway.
Can we run it today?
Yeah. Anyway,
we don't have to run it right now, but we'll run it.
I'll get it. I'll get it set up. But okay. Yeah, no. Movies with Matt is going great. We're having a lot of fun. We watched Alien Detective, some shit like that. It was such a bad movie. I'm excited to get that one out.
Detective.
But Alien Private Eye, maybe. I don't know. It was awesome.
But the alien is the private eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, and that's
Check
what
it
I
out,
meant by
folks.
Jane makes us sound smarter, and I realized maybe I've been saying that wrong. Jane is smarter. That just proves it. And
I'm hearing
Smart.
somebody. I'm hearing the audio feed from somebody's.
check one.
It's not me.
Check one. Society
It's
Reviews.
the new guy.
It's the new guy, Jacob. But the gospel's here. He's a legend. How are you, sir?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the snoring 20s. We all have heard about the roaring 20s. We are now firmly into the snoring 20s where everybody is asleep.
Yep. Yeah, and they like it that
Yes.
way.
Yes, hello everyone. Much love to all.
Well, thank you for being here, sir. And we also have
Yes,
Jacob.
and Jane completes us.
She does.
We like Tarzan. This Jane.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
We're missing one person, but he talks too much anyways, so it doesn't matter if he's here or not. Because when he is here, he makes up for 5 streams that he's not. That's Raging Rhino. But tonight we have Society
I was thinking
Reviews. We got
Gopher.
Jacob here. How are you, my friend?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm doing better than Raiders fans, but apparently I'm not as loved as Jane. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like, what am I even
That's
doing
true.
here now?
That's true. None of us are. So it's okay. It's my channel.
I'm pretty close. Out of all of us, I think I would be the closest
That is a
to being.
favorite.
I don't know about that, Matt. I mean, I am a YouTuber, and you're learning
You
from
son of a
me,
bitch.
and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
You're the
Okay?
intern.
Is nothing sick. What? No, Jane. We were reviving. What happened? Damn it, Scott.
We have an intern. Don't forget, it's my cousin Edwin. He's the intern. He always loves to be here, but he doesn't
What?
really like the dump that much.
Shh. Always likes to be here.
No, he wanted to let you guys know this. So, hey everybody, welcome to this dump. What a gay name. It wishes it was gay, actually.
You misgendered so many times. I don't know why.
We're family,
Shh
and
is
he
still
says
your
it's
cousin.
all right. Well, it is. Shh. You're right. I'm sorry. Shh is one of my favorite people. Oh shit! Can you say people, or does it have to be plural now? I'm very confused.
Yes, I don't know if you realize this, but your cousin is still technically a person. So
Yes,
you
I
can
meant
refer
that.
to them as people. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
boy.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Or is that a patriarchal norm or something?
Ooh.
Ooh. We might have to discuss that later tonight, but we're going to start with something else. DC, people. DC.
Oh, everything's going great.
Isn't it? Who
the
who
worst
are the
place
big
in America.
DC stands
Oh, sorry,
for that
company.
crap. That crap.
Oh man,
DC.
it's a shit show, Mark. It's a shit show, and we have. I don't even know if you can blame James Gunn and Peter Safran for it yet.
I can't.
Why though, Jacob?
It's like everyone keeps telling me, no, just hold out. You don't know what the full plan is yet, but the fire's just like spreading. And I just feel like I don't think we're addressing the real problem here, and that's this is still a dumpster fire right now. It's just no.
No, it's called the dump. Thank you. Well, I don't. Okay, so let me because I'm one of those people. I think. All right, so Mark, this is my thought process until I heard the most recent reports, and if these reports are true, which most people don't think it is, but if they are, then I'm done with DC. But okay, so James Gunn comes in. He wants to maybe clean house. He wants to start a 10-year kind of project, like kind of the MCU. So he didn't want to keep Henry Cavill. He wanted to go with a younger Superman to grow with that 10 years. Okay, it pisses me off you're not going to keep Henry Cavill, but I'm going to give the guy a chance. But then there's reports that he's going to, executives say they may keep, Ezra Miller. Now, that could be just because the movie's coming out and they don't want to say they're firing the guy before that. What do you think, Mark? And hi, Culture.
Hey, culture.
Yeah, I think that Ezra is a psycho and they know it, and it's probably just to save the project, but he's being put to the curb, man. It's inevitable. It has to be done. And I don't blame them for cleaning house either. It was time.
Right.
Yeah, it's you hired a new head coach. He comes in. He should be allowed to draft a quarterback that he thinks would be best for his system or
Yep.
going forward.
That's right.
But-
And remember, what's his name? James, what's his name? Gunn or whatever his name
Yeah,
is?
James Gunn. Yeah.
Much like Billy Joel, he didn't start the fire.
Right.
It was always burning.
It was.
Just
Yep.
remember that. And it
Yeah.
was a dumpster fire before he came on the scene. So.
It definitely
Agreed.
was.
Also-
Schneider and a sad Superman. Batman was a little flam. I'm sorry, I tried.
Listen, you know me. I'm not one. I'm always one to take up for women here. But Ezra, though, they WB was saying he hasn't had ever since they talked to him. They got him some help. He's been cool. He's been great. So
Oh,
that's
really?
why they're not getting rid of him
True.
because
He hasn't aggressively
he's showing
passed a single
improvement.
chair in 90 days.
She should have caught it.
He hasn't thrown a chair at anyone's head yet.
Yeah, it's only half his fault. She should have caught it. Okay, when I throw you a ball and you don't catch it, that's not always my fault. You should have caught it.
Culture.
But he probably hasn't gotten in trouble because he's on probation.
True.
I mean, not probation, but on bail. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if he
I think he's in a
commits crime,
facility.
he's going to jail.
That's a great point.
I think WB has them the tower where they
Culture's
locked up
voice
the
is so silky.
Animaniacs. That's where they have Ezra until the movie comes out. They have him locked up there with the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
And you, Culture?
Oh, okay.
As I was saying, sorry.
No, it's funny.
Oh, and another thing.
Well done, Jacob. Well done.
It doesn't surprise me that Mad went with the football reference there. If you're going to hire the coach, you know the chef, you're going to let him buy the groceries.
Ah, Parcells.
Yeah,
That's when he was at got
football
Patriots thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it doesn't surprise
If you're
me.
gonna
I
hire a
mean,
chef, you got to let him pick the bodyguard. That's
There you go.
from leaving the
Yeah.
restaurant.
yeah.
That's insane.
I'm going with the he's locked up somewhere.
I think
it's
that's
like, you know
something
how the paparazzi is. Why don't we see him like dining out, going to a movie? Like you don't see him anywhere, and before he was everywhere. So I think they're just keeping him someplace. And,
I
you know.
think maybe though, Mark, I think maybe they let him talk to Cavill, and Cavill told him how to like lay low, because that dude lays low. You know, like the best celebrities, the guys that were the actors, I should say, that we still consider celebrities, do keep a much lower profile, especially
Bill Cosby, OJ, Weinstein. I'm with you.
I'm reading what Saggy Melons is saying, and she's talking about.
She knows her shit on this guy.
She does. She says he's not on probation. He only had to pay a fine in Hawaii, which was the throwing of the chair, I believe.
The lady got fined as well because she didn't catch it.
I know what she means here, but I love the only ongoing case is a felony charge for the B&E and the alcohol theft.
That's a wonderful way to say things.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the farm where he had that
Replacement.
kidnapped woman and her children and
that
the guns and all that stuff? What about all that?
I mean, you can have guns.
I've been wondering about that one
Everybody's
too.
wife.
That wasn't anything he was charged with, though. That was the father of the children saying that the kids weren't in a healthy environment. They were in danger, and he was trying to get custody.
Well, I mean, right,
I'm
Jane?
not necessarily even talking about like committing crimes. I'm just like,
It's
dude
wrong.
just has a terrible rep, and he's got to relate this to as a star of a movie, a big movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has seen
Arrested.
these stories.
I understand
No,
she wasn't
anybody else?
kidnapped. I
If it were
understand.
anybody else, this would not be happening. Like, I don't know what is going on, why they're so insistent upon keeping him in this movie when this guy is a menace to society.
Menace I society.
And I hear that he does it while drinking his pickle juice. No one got that reference, really? Don't be a menace.
I did the Menace I society joke, and nobody laughed at that either.
Man, the beginning of that when that's my baby. Oh, that's not my baby. This is one of the funniest things ever.
The psychopath shouldn't have been throwing a chair at people.
Right. I was just about to say the same thing. Like, I understand.
Saggy says her ex was abusive. Her ex,
She's
so she's
just
running.
clarifying.
She's
Yeah.
running to Ezra
Yeah.
from an abusive ex. How abusive does this dude have to be? How sick is he that she's running from this dude to Ezra,
Who,
who's
like,
certified
Or abuse
psycho?
somebody.
Right.
Well, clearly she's not interested in his physical, attributes of throwing things. That's why she
Yeah.
got hit.
I mean, he got no aim, though.
No.
I mean, he just can run fast, I guess. But he did. I mean, we know he threw a woman down in the snow. No matter what she said to him.
It was in
he
a
had-
mall.
Look.
wasn't it?
I haven't seen him hit a man yet.
No, me either. Come on. That dude, please. If you got hit by him, you better.
If he's defending the girlfriend, go fight the man. Don't throw a chair like a girl.
He apparently he was throwing it at the boyfriend. She got in the way, and it happens.
Yeah,
Women be tripping.
He hits guys, but just in a different way.
Saggy, I love you. I love it. Saggy Melons. I thought it's Saggy. Okay. I need new glasses. They're so bad. I was like,
Yes.
did she change it to Saggy? That's weird. But no, Saggy is fantastic. She knows what she's talking about, but I see it from a different point of view. I'm in recovery. No matter how messed up I got, there was never an accidental hitting of a woman. I didn't throw a chair and miss somebody else and hit a woman. Like, these are the you hear somebody's version, We're hearing another version. It's really what do we find out in any of the police reports, any of that stuff, because there are so many stands out there for him and so many people supporting him that they will say, yeah, eyewitness says he threw a chair at the ex-husband and hit another woman. Like, all I know is he's dealing with younger girls under 18 and their mothers. Like, to me, that's a predator. And he's not, and they say he's like a life coach for them. These are just terms I'm sorry. Like, why is he doing this as he's this, like, a rich actor, doing well in movies? Like, why is he all of a sudden worrying about young girls and their mom? Like, if he is, he's a saint the way you're saying it then. But to me, he's not. How many times
does somebody have to be arrested? Like, this is not normal behavior. People don't just get arrested this many times in such a short period of time. He's not stable.
Yeah, he's not.
We saw him choke. We saw him choke that woman out. We saw him do
throw her
this.
to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you question how he even get hired in the first place, right? Because these warning signs for Ezra Miller have been there for years. Like, they didn't just pop up in like the last 6 months. Like, you can see the unstable nature of his being. Well, years ago, like I said, the thing was that Gal Gadot interview that he did. That was the first time I noticed it. And that was 2017. So we have to believe that the wheels had already been turning years before then. I mean, I don't know how they can even attempt to keep him around at this point. Like, I understand at this point you'd be like, hey, look, we invested $300 million into this. We can't just give up on this project entirely, so we got to make do what we have. Fine, I guess. But to actually even consider keeping him after this point, it's like, who's making these decisions like right now? Because you're gonna piss off half the people who don't like him anyway, especially with all the other movies you've made. And then you also have the people who are upset that he's still around because you canceled Batgirl, that terrible like film, and everyone's like, well, how come Ezra Miller's still around? How come you didn't cancel The Flash? How come Batgirl is like, you're gonna keep him around? You're gonna lose people all around the sphere of the political spectrum of DC moving forward if you decide that, oh yeah, we're gonna keep him around for more movies because he's a they them or whatever. Not, it's like, no, you can't do that.
I did. One thing you said about them losing half of their audience or whatever because they're keeping Ezra, I don't know, because I'm in this bubble with you guys. I don't know how far how much knowledge the general public has on what is going on with him. Right. I don't know if that's reached the levels of aunts and not grandmothers, but aunts and and people, not uncles, because aunts. I don't know why, but. Yeah. They you know what I mean? They're a good measurement of how far it goes.
Though. Right. Like, they may not know the details of the case, but they know that he's getting arrested because it's on the news every time it happens.
Yeah,
but isn't it on
so
ET
defended.
and more Hollywood news shows rather than
some of this
Fox
stuff
News,
has been on like
CNN? I don't know.
ABC, like Good Morning America, things like that have spoken about it. And respect, Saggy, find the truth, because from what I have seen and read, and the kid definitely has issues. He definitely has issues, and I just hope he cleans up his act, because someone said it above, there have been people canceled for less than what he has been perceived to do. Even like someone could say something wrong and they've lost their career, but this kid is like, I mean, we have footage of him throwing a woman down in the snow, and that was years ago, and he's still doing stupid shit. And I'll just tell you, drugs and alcohol doesn't make you not all of a sudden have that ability to like, oh, I'm going to start hitting women now. That's somewhere inside of you. If you're going to do it, it's already been inside you. But let me read this real quick.
Hit them without cause.
Yeah, right. George the Giant Slayer just tipped $30. Thank you, George. Feel free to jump on anytime, my friend. I miss you. This is part 1. It says James Gunn deserves no chance. He's a half-wit finger puppet on a drag queen power trip to piss on DC to leave his mark. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Cavill,
George.
Yeah, part 2 is Cavill is Superman. We all waited to get his next film. You don't hire, then fire. Cheap, no more original story. All hail Sporkers. Thank you, my friend. What do you think about that, Mr. Culture Casino?
Damn.
Well, I think.
No, yeah.
I mean, look, I'll say this. I definitely don't have as much faith in James Gunn as a lot of other people do. I don't think that guy's changed his stripes at all over the last few years. I think he's kept his mouth quiet for the most part, but I still think the James Gunn from 5-6 years ago, who was calling everyone Nazis and having very questionable content that he was promoting at the time, is still the James Gunn we have today. And as far as Ezra Miller goes, not only does he have issues, he seems to have issues particularly with women. So if these people claim to be the defenders of women like they all say that they are vocally on social media, I don't know how you can in any way, shape, or form back his project now or going forward.
Right.
And the other thing too, he is no different from everybody in prison. Like, all of these people have mental health issues. All of these people have substance abuse issues. Like, none of that's new, but they still have to pay consequences for their actions. So should he.
Well, there are some people in prison who didn't do it, though. There are some innocent people in prison. There are some people who just made mistakes. You said all people in prison. That's not right, Jane.
There may be a few who are innocent. A small minority. But the vast overwhelming majority are there
look
because
at
in many cases, substance abuse related issues, mental health related issues.
Well, because
sure, I do agree that they don't get enough treatment.
They shut them all down. That's why.
Yeah.
They shut down all the hospitals.
There's some kids in there who were railroaded, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you're right.
You know?
You're right.
Like, I'm just putting it down for those people there. I'm riding with you guys, whoever might be watching this. In prison.
So, I'm not saying that all people who have gotten excessive sentences and all of that, but what I'm saying is people have chosen to commit crimes and they throw themselves in a position where they're being judged by the government, they're being judged by the state, and if they're judged unfairly or too harshly, that is a problem. But they are suffering the consequences of the choices they made by putting themselves in that position. You have celebrities like Ezra Miller who aren't having to deal with any of those because he can afford to pay off all of the witnesses and all of the victims and walk. Now, what needs to happen in this pending case is that the prosecutor needs to hold his feet to the fire and not allow this to happen again, or he's going to kill somebody.
Yeah,
well,
and
that's a good point.
A very good point. And before I want to go to Mark, but like, he took accountability because that was the last option he had. Like, I'm sorry.
And they held his hand, but while he did it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't write any.
And just real quick,
he didn't
I guess the other.
He didn't write that statement.
What's up,
right? Sorry, Society. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say that's the other thing you have to keep in mind too. It's like we are dealing with Hollywood and Hollywood people. This is not, the beacon of morality in any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you're basically dealing with an industry full of horrible people. I mean, Ezra is a bad person. Let's be honest, he may not be the worst person in Hollywood. If we start digging up everyone else's backstories and everything that they got going on behind closed doors as well, then there's probably a reason why they're protecting him as much as they're protecting him. Maybe he has dirt on somebody. Maybe he's a part of something that could be more sinister than
I don't think we should label him as a bad person per se, because if he is suffering from something mentally that is affecting his behavior, I think that he needs to get help. And if he doesn't have a strong support system that helps pull him into a place for him to receive the treatment or the help that he needs,
he can get help.
Well, let's say bad at worst, but dangerous at best.
That's why I call him a psycho. I'm not trying to be funny about
only
that.
he had money to be able to afford such care.
Hold on.
Mark, you can afford it, but if you're mentally unstable, you're not going to be stable mentally enough to be like, you know what? I think I may need help.
Right. I should be on my medication because it works. Because usually the people that have the most problems are like, oh, this medication isn't working, because actually it is. I mean, dude, I worked in that field for like 10 years. I first started off as a patient and then went into the field after I got my shit together. But a lot of drug and alcohol abuse is because these people don't know that you can go and get help, that medication does work. And even when it starts to work, they get scared, or they don't like how it feels to be normal, or they don't want to allow the medication to work. We used to have hospitals, but the hospitals did some messed up shit in the 80s and the 70s where they didn't reform them. They just, like in my area, shut them all down and just sent people with 90 days supply of medication, said good freaking luck. So now prisons are mental health hospitals, and that is not cool, man.
Well,
we need more places.
Yeah, I mean, when they started to shut down the mental healthcare system that we had, because again, those hospitals were being run very poorly. How did we get Mark on the chain? I think.
Oh, that's easy. Drunk. I ask, and Mark says, "I'll show up." Like other people. Hey, call me.
You don't even ask anymore. He's just in the group that can.
Well,
come
now
whenever.
he is, but I think Drunks might be in there too. But Drunks like, call me in August. I might have chime.
But by the way, the privatization of the prisons is for it's not helping the situation at all, because any corporation is going to cut as many costs as possible. Those cuts are going to come in places like their healthcare, mentally or physical for the inmates.
There's a profit incentive there, man.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, not just because of the cutbacks, and I'm sorry, Gene, to talk over you, but it's not just because of the cutbacks. It's also because they need as many prisoners as possible. You get paid per prisoner. There's a profit incentive. So it's just like a healthcare system that's designed around pharmaceuticals, where it's more profitable to keep people on the pharmaceuticals for extended periods of time than actually cure the thing they got, right?
Yeah, let's not work on that.
So let me ask you this, guys, bringing it back to Ezra. Ezra is at your convention, all right? You're there with your cute little children. Who is the Flash? Are you bringing your children up to Ezra Miller? Ezra mother effing Miller?
No.
No? Are you feeling good about that?
Well, I know the answer.
He's a liability.
I know the answer. I know the answer for you, Mark, but there are some people that would still do that.
Okay.
There
maybe
are
they
people
haven't
who
heard.
deliver their children to him on a silver platter.
Yeah. And
That's,
again,
probably, that's probably what's keeping him satiated now. He's probably locked in a room somewhere with a bunch of kids.
With the Animaniacs in the WB. Oh, you went a different route. Oh, well, listen.
Wow.
I wanted to. Jane was talking about the people put themselves in a situation to be in trouble in the first place, and they have to deal with those consequences, which 100% is true. I remember this. I had this one supervisor. Anyway, he was like, sometimes the guy that you're getting for the DWI, he may not have been thinking about it. He got a call from his friend, and he needed to go help his friend. He wasn't. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, that's not a thing. He was still driving. Anyway, my point is, what I'm trying to get to is, depending on how your resources financially, you're gonna have the cards stacked against you, right? What we would do is you would stack charges. All right. If you get a DDoI, maybe there's an open container, maybe you had paraphernalia, blah, 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 blah. It's everything. So when they go to, when they offer the deal, they're like, look, we'll cut this out if you plead guilty to this.
Yeah.
Their lawyer, who's probably going to be a public defender, is like, I don't know, man, that's a really good deal. Yeah, but I'm innocent. I didn't actually do it. Yeah, but if you lose, you could lose, it would cost you a lot more, both financially and, so they're incentivized by the entire system, both on the prosecution side and their public defender, because neither one.
Excuse, though, because they are advised, but whether it's a public defender or a private attorney, they're advised of their rights and they're advised of the risk, and it's their choice which thing they want to do. If they have a really solid case and the facts are in their favor, nobody's going to tell them not to go to trial, because trials make lawyers look good when you win. But if it's not the best case, or it's 50-50, then it's on you. You want to roll the dice?
Yeah, but my question is this, Jane, though, like if it's a public defender who's like, oh, should I roll the dice? Or a dude is getting paid $10,000 an hour, I'm going to roll the dice with that cat. You're like, okay, this kid's been giving me a lot of money. I want that money to keep coming. Like, they're going to work hard. I just feel like some of those, and you tell me if I'm wrong, some of those higher visible attorneys have better are able to make better deals with these prosecutors. Not necessarily. Okay.
Attorneys aren't magicians. And I think this is where people, because you can hire whatever attorney you want. We see it every day, where people in these high profile cases hire these attorneys who make tons of money, and they still lose. Amber Heard's attorneys, I'm sure, got paid tons of money when they should have told her, you don't have a case. But they took it to court anyway. Why? Because they were getting paid. So they didn't care. So it doesn't, what you want ultimately is an attorney who can assess the facts of your case and the law and see whether there are arguments that can be made in your favor, whether you have any possible defenses, and then you can choose where to go from there, depending on the court, depending on whether you try the case before a jury or before a judge. Like, I mean, there are a lot of factors to consider, but at the end of the day, it's your case.
Right.
And you know what the facts are, you know what the evidence is. And, some people are just delusional and think that they can get away with it. And if you have an attorney who doesn't care, frankly, especially if it's a paid attorney, because most public defenders, they don't have time to waste time on a losing case.
Right.
And someone who's getting paid thousands of dollars,
right,
sure,
they have the time.
Yeah. You're right. They do have a lot of cases, but wouldn't that incentivize them to, hey, take this deal,
Yeah. Let's push this one through.
Right, because I have so many cases that I'm dealing with. If I'm getting offered a deal here from my client, yeah, we could go to trial, and you know what I mean?
Only if it's a good deal and it's a case that they can't win.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
Sporking fact.
But what I'm saying though is, if even because of the workload that they have, though, even if if it is a case that it is possible that his client could win, but because of their own workload, you don't think that
Nah,
it would tempt them a little bit?
I don't think so, because the more often you beat the prosecutors, the less likely they are to play games with you on your cases.
Right.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So you want a case
there are
that you can
reps.
win.
Yeah.
And the thing too is, a lot of times the cases that you can win, the prosecutors aren't going to push. Like, the prosecutors have a lot of cases too. They're not trying to try all those cases. So I mean, they have just as much of a backlog. So if it's a case that just has no legs and it's 50-50, you're kind of both in a position where you can negotiate a good outcome, or push it to trial and then make them cave and dismiss it.
Yeah, and that's usually that's a strong point. And I think that not often enough do people roll the dice in that situation when there is no case and go at them and take a plea deal. There is more to lose indeed, but at the same time, if you didn't do the shit, man, and if they've got nothing but circumstantial stuff that ties you there because your car was seen in the area, that's something else entirely.
Okay,
a lot of people get railroaded.
That wouldn't be probable cause to make an arrest. Yeah.
And this is the thing too, it doesn't want to lose.
Yeah,
it makes them look bad.
In Mad, you're 100% right, but I've seen stuff like that happen to people where it's like they and the person says the wrong thing, and they get hauled in, and they say the wrong thing when they're being questioned and they get hosed. Like I said, it is what it is. I will never make apologies for people who actually do the wrong thing. But getting back to Ezra and his mental health issues, it doesn't change. And Scott, I think, hit on this. It doesn't change the fact that, the activities or the actions were still taken by the person under whatever substance or circumstance or whatever else, mentally there or not. So something has to be, that has to be taken into account. They have to be held accountable. Speaking of that, you had a comment highlighted from Saggy earlier that I thought should be addressed.
Oh, the questions?
Everybody else.
And I
wanted to
say
respond to what
thing.
Culture said.
Well, real quick before you respond to that,
sorry.
all this stuff this one person has done, and also he's a terrible freaking Flash. But like this to the point, you got rid of you're getting rid of Ben Affleck, you're getting rid of Henry Cavill, and I know most likely he might be released after, but there's people saying executives have said it. Can you imagine if they kept him and he's a terrible freaking Flash? Like, what that says about their idea of what's good for the future of DC.
To be fair, and again, this is 100% on that particular subject, Scott. The executives that said that he might be able to stick around are tangentially tied to this. They're specifically tied to the Flash film. They're not necessarily in the new regime, right? They're old regime people, know. So they have an incentive to try to get their guy to hang around because they're tied to the project. So.
But you're correct about Ben Affleck.
Before we get too far away from the culture,
go ahead.
I don't think when people are saying, well, we shouldn't label him as this or that because of the mental, instability. That's not saying there shouldn't be consequences. You can both.
That's what I said.
Well, no, that's not though.
Okay. Go ahead.
You said that there, regardless of it, he should have consequences in response to
what I said.
No. about him being a bad person, or what I'm saying, I'm clarifying mostly, is that you can both be concerned and want him to address the mental issues he may have and still have consequences, though. Because see, now it's too far away, because I'm gonna have to go back and watch it to hear what he said, because there was something in there.
Yeah, it was good, and I really appreciate what you said.
What about not treating him like he's special?
Exactly.
Because, like, people every day have these issues. They get arrested. They're accused of whatever, and we know they have a substance abuse history. And everybody's like, throw him in jail. Nobody takes the time to pat him on the head and go, "Oh, poor Ezra. We don't want to label him." Nobody. No, you're only doing that because he's a celebrity.
Thank you.
That's the other thing that's kind of like the elephant in the room here. It's like, it's like, yeah, like you try to compare like Ezra to, like I would say, like your normal person who may have like mental health issues, who has troubles with the law, but none of those people are also being coddled by like a multi-billion-dollar corporation who has a $300 million investment that they have to protect sometime next summer as well. So that's another big part of this problem that's been going into it.
Yeah,
but here's the problem with that, right? You know, that they were writing down $3.5 billion, or did in the last quarter. We're about to see another, or I should say, in the fiscal year, we're about to see them write down, even more in this next wave. And again, it was all everything that they're suffering now at Warner Brothers was put in place by the previous regime.
Right.
You already have sunk costs, which is what you're talking about, Jacob. And I agree with you. They want to make some money out of it, but what are they going to do? All they can do is feign, and that means fake. By the way, feign that that is a possibility he could stick around. But in reality, you and I and everybody on this panel knows there's no effing way. Nobody in their right mind would keep him around, even though, he has all the special extended privileges of his whatever he calls himself.
Well,
I think if he gets convicted, there's no way.
No way. But he'll get another chance in Hollywood, but no way staying with DC. My question to you guys now is, did you read the stuff about Dwayne Johnson and his attempts to overthrow the DC? Like, he really went in when there was just
his
a
ex-wife
vacuum.
His ex-wife is a shark.
Man.
An agent. I mean, Danny Garcia is Ask Jacob. I mean, she is. Yeah.
Oh, Jacob, his wife?
There's a reason why he opted to have her as his manager rather than pay her years of alimony. Let's just put it that way. I think he made the wise decision there.
Yeah. Jacob, was it? Did we? I can't remember who I talked to. I thought it was you and Mark about how maybe The Rock isn't. Maybe it's more image than anything about him. Oh, I'm just a good guy. Ha ha. He has an asshole streak to him.
Here's the thing with The Rock. It's like, The Rock before, up to the last few years before he became the biggest star in Hollywood, I heard a lot of good things from a lot of people who've had personal interactions with The Rock. So I do think there is a good guy there. With that said, over the last few years, now that he has this image in Hollywood that he's been trying to protect, I think he has become a little bit more egotistical in certain aspects of his life. So it's I would say that The Rock from 10 years ago probably isn't the same one from today.
Well, I don't know though, because he had a rep back in the WWF when he first started of being being egotistical and.
Well, I mean, that's the world of pro wrestling. But he was a young dude though,
too. Yeah.
And it's the world of pro wrestling.
If they're the ones calling it out though, if they're calling it out, it's whoa, man, I got an ego, but bro.
I wouldn't look too much into that, because in the world of pro wrestling, especially in the late 90s, it's every guy who was on top had an ego. Steve Austin had an ego. The Undertaker had a Triple H. All these guys had massive
I meant when he came in.
Then.
I meant when he came in as Rocky Maivia. From the jump. And when they created the Rock character, they had him tap into a lot of his his ego on that, or whatever, his confidence.
Well, why
okay.
people are saying that he I think it's not fair necessarily that people are blaming him for the situation. I think he genuinely wanted Henry back and campaigned for that and fought for that. And that's why everybody was celebrating him when he came out and he said, he should be back.
That's another thing that's very interesting to me.
He's not in a position to actually control those decisions.
Right, Jacob.
Yeah, that's another thing that's very interesting to me too, because it definitely seems like when Rock came out with that tweet where he was trying to say that, well, actually, Black Adam is gonna be profitable and not be a loss. It seems like ever since then, there's been a lot of articles, especially through Variety, and I know this one's through Variety as well. So somebody has a contact with Warner Brothers where they're really trying to like bury him, because some executive at Warner Brothers has to be really upset with how The Rock has handled kind of the PR around Black Adam, because I've noticed that they've been subtly burying him a lot, not as much as they've tried to go after like Henry Cavill over the last few years, but there seems to be an agenda to hurt his image moving forward, which is kind of surprising with everything we talked about with Ezra Miller, where it's kind of like 180.
Yeah, it's PMC. It's Penske Media, because they control the majority of the trades and a whole lot of other digital magazine outlets, right? Because they control Variety and Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and all of that. But in this particular case, I agree with you. There is a target on Cavill's back, and I think because he pushed so hard for Cavill, it didn't help him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this: you know what? Warner's dodging a bullet, because unless The Rock is in a collaborative venture, he doesn't pull audience. He sucks as a single draw. He's not going to open a film. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
I,
a lot of this,
I think they've drawn the line in the sand, and Henry and him and a couple of others are on one side, and the mainstream is on the other.
Yep. And then we
Rock
don't exactly
never moved
know.
me, though. He never moved me. I think if he couldn't make it happen with the Scorpion King, I think it was back in the day, that pretty much told me he didn't have what it took. I was pulling for him.
He's worked hard since then. I mean, he has a show on that was on HBO. I don't know if it still is. Ballers, which was great.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, it was great. It was hilarious.
Ballers is basically like the sports version of Entourage.
I was done with The Rock with him. What he did with Joe Rogan, how he handled that situation. Where he's like, "Oh, Joe Rogan, my boy." Well, now that you've explained it to me,
yeah. Huh? And he's done that with a couple of people too. Like there was this whole thing with Logan Paul, where Logan Paul got some negative press. I think it might have been for the whole like Japan thing, and Rock basically like cut him off. So like I said, over the last few years, he's quick to cut off people who he feels like may be a damage to his image. You know what I mean?
Right. His image above all.
Punished for that though.
His
brand is his business.
And that's why he made a terrible Black Adam.
Joe Rogan, though. He comes out initially and is like, no, I support Joe. Joe's my man. But then when he started getting pushback from, from whoever, he reversed it. All I'm saying, he ain't got no loyalty in his DNA. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't need it. It's Hollywood.
Yeah,
it ain't so cutthroat.
I love it.
Speaking of someone who has loyalty,
friends in Hollywood.
Pretty stupid with the Rogan thing though, because you knew Rogan was going to make it through it, and I think that was a misstep on his part. But George the Giant Slayer for $25 more. Thank you very much, George. Without monetization, you are getting me by, my friend, and I really appreciate it. All my hopes in Zaslav went out the window. This is the first time I'm rooting for a film to fail under Gunn. If Zaslav's prior reputation is well earned, Gunn will be humiliatingly fired. Recipe is simple. Honor the source and fans equal success. All hail. He's absolutely true.
Based, George. Based.
Yep. Yes, sir. And why don't people realize, like, it just blows my mind. Like, look, the Ezra Miller thing aside, they keep making stuff that goes away from the source material. And I don't know if Gunn will stick with source or will he not. I mean, if the whole Elliot Page thing is real, which I doubt, but her being the younger Superman, like, come on, or him, excuse me.
Careful.
I apologize. I didn't mean it. Guys, guys, I respect that. First of all, my pronouns are so thank you. That's my
I'll believe any reality you want me to, Google. Just stop taking my money.
I can't believe that Jane dropped the "it's not show friends, it's show business." And nobody caught it.
Yeah, we needed to highlight that one.
I know. I always forget how cutthroat. And again, it's a great thing. It's a good balance, because I'm like, no, because my broness kicks in. No, if you're bros with them, how are you just going to sell them out like that? Yeah. Your heart pumps Kool-Aid.
Jane don't give a shit who you are. Go ahead, Jane.
No,
they're not friends. And he doesn't owe any loyalty to any of these people because where's the loyalty to him? I don't see any of that. Nobody has his back. He knows that. He knows what industries he's in. It's cutthroat. People do not care about you. And the only thing you can do is to protect your brand, which is what he's done, which is why his career has lasted as long as it has. I mean, look how many people have fallen off, from insanity. Meanwhile, Ezra Miller's still up somehow, but
I'm immediately like, God, that's just perpetuating the cycle of disloyalty and like change it. Have your bro. I know, but
business.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm just about bros.
I'm just I'm down. Look, I am Mad Barber for life, even though I'm not on many of the shows anymore.
Well, it's the Mad Barber Boys. Maybe that's why.
Wow. Even I knew that, and I don't watch this channel.
Do you even know our slogan, Dick in, Dick out?
Yeah.
We ride together, we come together.
That one we're still working on. We're still workshopping.
Hey, look, I even know that YetiCast used to try to make it a chant before we
Oh yeah.
Well, that is YetiCast for you.
You know what we're doing now? Now he has me go, where my Yeti at? And he's like, your Yeti's right here.
He's right here.
Oh, that's so terrible.
Why? Why Yeti?
Oh, listen, the girlfriend just as bad because now I'm having to go right about meow, buckle up kittens like fat slim.
Yeah, no,
boy,
I knew
what
you were going. Fat boy slim, like you don't know by now.
Yeah.
Explain why you have to do that though.
Yeah.
Because randomly in this audio I randomly said, buckle up kittens, because we're going back to the movie or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's a horrible thing. So I kept using it. And now it's become its own, it's our saying. So, buckle up kittens. Buckle up kittens. I randomly said it. It was dumb. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, it's better to be beamed up.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Well, that's, yeah.
No,
if you're not being beamed up, you're being beamed down. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm stuck with karate with infinite patience. So I hear you.
Or as I say, I'd rather be pissed off than pissed on.
True. Real quick, thank you to the people watching on Rumble. We got 8 people watching on Rumble right now, so feel free to go over there. And now it's a thumbs up and thumbs down on the desktop version, so you could do that or smash the Rumble on, I think, the Android and iPhone version. I don't know.
Isn't it a rant? Don't they call it a rant?
I really don't know. I am verified over there, so I'm pretty cool. And I'm almost at 5K again on YouTube, people. I'm like 40 away, 41 away, so or something like that. Yeah. So
we
feel free
deserve
to.
it.
My birthday. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Time. No, I was just gonna say all that time on the knee. I mean, all that hard work.
Oh, well, I did 2 videos actually in the past year, and they finally seem like they're kicking in. All I know is this: January 21st. Hopefully, we'll have a couple guests. It'll be a birthday stream, hopefully a 5K stream, and hopefully a remonetization stream. We will see. But I found this out here, and let's just go through everything.
21st or 25th?
Well, my birthday's the 22nd, but the show's on the 21st.
Yeah, I know your birthday's on the 22nd.
I knew you knew. You're so special. Everything James Gunn has actually confirmed and revealed about the DCU. So what do we have here? It will be a multi-platform franchise across different mediums. So we'll have TV and movies.
And streaming.
And on streaming. Yep. They'll have 3D and 2D animation, live action, on all different stuff. I love the animation at DC. I hope that doesn't get messed up. I do enjoy their animation. What about you guys? Anybody?
Whose animation?
DC's.
Oh, I don't watch that.
I haven't watched anything since the animated series Batman, so I don't know what they did.
I tried to watch the Samurai Batman thing. 5 minutes, I'm out.
I couldn't do it.
I'm out.
I couldn't do it. Yeah, that was a weird one too. They had one where he was fighting, going against Jack the Ripper too. But Peacemaker, what do you guys think of? Did anybody like? I know some people do like it. I didn't.
I know.
I actually enjoyed it. See, she agrees.
Yeah.
A child.
You bring up Peacemaker. She's coming in here.
She's coming in here.
Gonna let you know. No, but
we're in trouble.
She's
Australian.
The girlfriend and I, we watched the first episode of Peacemaker, and we're done. We see what you're doing. This is bullshit. Eventually, we actually went back and overall enjoyed the series. It's James Gunn, so you're gonna have aliens taking over humans and blah blah blah, like he does in almost all of his movies. Right. But as a whole, I really enjoyed it. There was definitely some moments you're like, oh, why?
Right.
with the whole she's so super strong and awesome. But
Hey,
yeah, I think overall it turned out to be a pretty good little series.
Yeah,
as long as we have Leslie Grace motion captured for the animation of Batgirl running, that's going to be perfect. Can't wait for that.
Okay.
I can't
I
believe
don't think
we
they have
that
enough
leak.
material for all of this crap. I think he's biting off more than he can chew. Did I hear something about Leslie Jones playing Plastic Man at some point?
What?
Okay, I'm listening.
I did a video about that. Yeah.
Leslie, that's the one from
Ghostbusters SNL.
Ghostbusters, right? Okay.
Yeah,
that
2016.
piece of tail,
They
yeah.
have her playing what?
Plastic Man? Plastic
Plastic
Person?
Man.
Plastic Person?
Mhm. No, Plastic Man would probably be appropriate.
Jane, will she be an angry plastic person?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Zax, feel free to jump on, man.
The power of plastic compels you. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that was a good one. So he has that going. What else does he have going? The Snyderverse, Ayer's Cut, and other lost projects aren't happening in the DCU. Many tiers of people I know have fallen for that.
I just want that Batgirl to get leaked. How is it
we
not
gotta
leaked?
see it, man.
I have to. You know how much
And I
content...
don't want the special effects to be done. Like I want them to be like half done, where they're really like choppy.
No, I want them done completely because I don't want any excuses for them to be like, well, you're only saying that because the special effects weren't done, so you can't really judge it as a movie.
That thing will not leak for a decade. That shit's tied up.
I'm shocked it hasn't leaked yet. Like I was shocked. I was really shocked. If it wasn't going to leak already, you're right. It probably will be a while, right?
Those drives are so safely secure in somebody's safe. They ain't going nowhere.
Man, can't nobody
They
put a thumb?
They should have shown us the costume. That was terrible in itself.
Did you see the? Well, this was what the costume would look like when she's fully upgraded or whatever. She's eating a taco or some shit between.
I haven't seen this running one yet. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
so
it is.
Yes,
it is.
it's so good.
What?
Yeah,
Like
we
I
need
said,
to watch it.
But again, the effects aren't done though, so you can't judge it.
The mocap for that, if they translated that to animation, would be the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Okay.
It is as bad as Ezra Miller running. It is terrible.
It's CW quality.
I'm having to take it for Ezra. But there was logic between why they had him run like that, because they spoke to running people. Yeah, to science people. And they were saying if you were able to run at this speed, this would be the movement.
Sure. Man, you read too much of the propaganda, bro. You were drinking that Kool-Aid. What is going on?
No, I'm not saying it looked good. All I'm saying is there was reasons why they did it. However, that doesn't mean that it translates well to the screen.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was a good decision.
Part of the problem too is that they didn't give her enough room to run. Like she's running like just a couple feet. Like it doesn't even look right. They should have had her run a block or something.
They must have been doing the Michael Bay 1 point, every second that he has like 10 different shots. So that was one out of 20.
I like it.
I personally like the Michael Bay like spinning camera, the 360 camera.
That's a good one though. Yeah. That one's legit. Bad Boys, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bad Boys for life. Bay. Yeah, why does he get such a bad name? Because he likes to blow shit up. I like things blown up.
I like things blowing up.
My issues with Michael Bay.
People didn't start complaining about Michael Bay to the Transformers movies.
Pearl Harbor was what set a lot of his tropes, the Michael Bayisms, where everything sparks. This man will have, a mattress get shot and just sparks just flying everywhere.
But wait, now come on, we're gonna compare that to J.J. Abrams, who used lens flare until like a year ago.
Dude, I was muted and I was about to say the same exact thing. What's worse, lens flare or a mattress sparking? I'll take the spark.
Lens flare in everything too. Though. Yeah. He uses it a lot.
Oh, by the way, I know he's a sacred cow, but Christopher Nolan is a millisecond behind Michael Bay with his per shot, a minute or a second, whatever.
He's actually going to detonate a nuclear bomb in his next film.
No, it's a Moab. It's the mother of all bombs. It's the largest bomb. That's not a
nuke. It's the largest bomb that's not a nuke, and he got to blow it.
Still a great decision by the military.
Maybe he'll blow up Hollywood. Good. Do it.
They wouldn't let Tom Cruise fly F-16, but they're going to give this asshole a bomb. What the hell?
Actor, director.
Some people need to suck up better to the CIA.
You know what I mean? So Matt Reeves, the Batman universe. So I guess now a universe. The Joker, the Batman, I guess will not fold into the DCU. I didn't care for the Matt Reeves Batman that much. I didn't.
Yeah, I never want to see him again.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if they hadn't had that whole ending with the Batman at Madison Square Garden and all the incels and all that stuff, it probably would have been a much better movie. But yeah, that whole last arc made the whole thing make no sense.
This is Batman year. I'm sorry, Culture, right to you, but this is Batman year 1.5 to 2, and he's taking fully automatic weapons to the chest when he should be the most agile he is in his career, and most likely doesn't have the equipment set for that yet, but he's taking fully automatic weapons to the chest and just walking into it instead of like being the fast, quick, agile ninja that he is. It was terrible.
He's wearing he's vibranium.
Battering. No, actually, there is one. It's Bat Nth Metal in the DC universe. Batanium. Sorry, Batanium.
Yeah.
Batanium.
The Batcave is the only place you can find vibranium in the DC. He didn't
have a Batcave. I'm sorry. He had a bat train station. Culture. What were you going to say?
Station.
Well, part of the problem.
Oh, gee, I didn't do that.
I don't have control over it.
I swear to God, I didn't do that. Please again.
Grant.
Oh, now you hurt his feelings.
I was going to agree with Matt. The physics behind the bullet thing is really bothered me, and that was just in the trailer. I made it 20 minutes total into this film, and it took me 2 tries to get that far.
Well, I like
the movie though.
I did.
I can have a problem with things like that, but still enjoy it. You know,
I just enjoyed it for the humor. I thought it was funny.
I liked it for the visuals. It was
yeah, that was cool.
Well, what's his name? The director? Who was it? He did the 8 movies.
Matt Reeves.
Yeah, he's a good director. I think he has a lot of talent.
Who did it? He did the. We're talking about Matt Reeves Batman, and what did you say? The 8 movies.
Yeah, the 8 movies. Yeah, he did those.
Like it's literally right there. He's like, the 8 movies.
Oh well, I'm not looking at that, man. Most of the time, I'm just looking at myself. You know.
Yeah, I know. You sick son of a bitch. We're gonna move on, and to Batman is still a major part of the DCU's future, with 35 of them. So I understand that Affleck probably didn't want to come back. He's dealing with his own stuff. He's got J-Lo again. Okay. But,
hasn't gotten arrested.
Hasn't gotten arrested. Just drank a little bit too much grandpa's cough medicine.
In other words, he's several levels higher than Ezra right now.
Way higher.
Okay.
He's got his hands full. He's busy feeling on that ass.
but I mean, if he threw a chair at you, you definitely feel it. Unlike what happened with Ezra. Like you don't want. I mean, he could throw a bench at you.
Yeah. You got to know, like they're gonna have to have Batman. Are we? And I believe we're not going to be getting origin stories again. Hopefully not.
I just want to see the Waynes get killed one more
time.
Got to see the pearls, man. You don't understand Batman unless you see those pearls.
I hate that scene every fucking time. I've been saying this forever. Start somewhere else. Start when he is like 2 or 5 years.
2 or 5 years old? Yeah, let's see a toddler Batman.
Not what I was saying.
Oh,
2 to 5 years into his career. No, I get interrupted so frequently. I never get to finish.
We all do.
Or here's a novel idea. Why don't we just do a live action version of Gotham High?
Ooh,
oh my
bro,
God.
On board. Jay Longbone. Oh, when they did a reading of it with Mahler and Rags and them, and it was hilarious.
We already did Young Batman. It was called Gotham, and it sucked. We don't need another one.
Yeah, kind of. It was all right sometimes.
Yeah. But how are they going to introduce young Superman without an origin story?
What was that, Jay?
Yeah, young Superman. They'll probably do the Man of Tomorrow, or which one was that?
Flashbacks, Jane.
What was that animated series? It was like Superman, Man of Tomorrow. So like it's like before he's known as Superman, but he's been seen. You know what I mean? Like not named yet. So maybe they'll go like year 1 Superman. Is that a thing?
Wait a minute. We just did year 1 Superman. It's called The Batman, and I made it through 20 minutes of it.
Wait, what?
Batman
did year 1 Superman with the Batman?
Wait, year 1 Superman?
Yeah, like do a year 1 instead of doing his whole origin.
Starting off at his gig at the Daily Planet.
Yeah,
or
like
Smallville.
No, F Smallville in the booty. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that. I'm tired. Gotham was a piece of shit. It's like there was not one fucking good
Gotham?
thing that was done early on here. And you know what? For whatever it's worth, I know a lot of people are huge Snyder fans, and that's fantastic, right? Name me one fucking film that was profitable, that was in good shape for that franchise. And you know what? Didn't have Batman or Superman or none of those motherfuckers in it. The only profitable thing there was fucking Aquaman. Not even Wonder Woman in comparison, right? I mean, it was Aquaman. And you know what? And the second Wonder Woman sucked balls. I'm sorry.
Well, that's because she had all the control.
And it wasn't even her boyfriend's balls. It was somebody else's.
And she was a little grapey, right? There's a little grapey involved in that. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm done. Take me off the screen.
Culture, you ever thought maybe you're just an old angry man now yelling from your porch? You're like, I'm tired of this Smallville. Man, let the kids have their fun.
Right?
Culture does have a resemblance to Captain Caveman.
Right? Do you not remember high school?
Years?
Can you not
I
relate?
watched that show forever. How many fucking years did I have to watch before somebody fucking flew? I'm just saying, like, do your fucking job, dude. Not only that, in the Snyderverse, he doesn't save his fucking dad. Fuck that noise.
His dad told him not to obey your elders.
In case anyone's wondering, that's his 12th fuck in the last minute. You won't see that on his channel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed, and I'm glad he did it on my channel. Okay, so I don't need a Jonathan Kent that is like, should I say it? Shouldn't I save the kids? I don't know. Yeah. Probably not. Let them all die.
The horses drowned while I ate my hero cake. Whatever.
How about Batman? And somebody suggested this in the chat, and I agree. How about Batman faces his rogue gallery? How about they actually come up with a plan to go after the Bat? Right? How about that?
Why are we switching back and forth between Batman and Superman? It gets a little confusing.
No, because there are three people in the Trinity, right? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, right? That is how that rolls out, right? And that should be the core of what DC is. Right, and you actually had a fucking fully functioning core as far as casting goes, and and unfortunately that was under the guidance of Zack Snyder. Put that under the guise of somebody else that's competent and doesn't like immerse you in the darkest world possible, and you actually have something successful.
I don't think that's a bad thing either. I think he did it poorly. I don't think the problem was it was a dark take on it. It was done poorly because Zack Snyder is fucking overrated.
I'm just gonna say the box office reflects the fact that it was in a dark world.
But it doesn't reflect its quality.
Yeah, its quality was also shit, but that's fine. I mean,
it was not.
The Snyder people. It wasn't great.
Okay,
I just want to take the time in the middle of this rant to put over the chick who plays Zatanna in the the Smallville series. She was good looking, so that's all I have to contribute.
She had a movie that was scheduled, but they ended up canceling it.
You had a movie?
But I don't care. Look, give me a hopeful story with Superman. That is the most hopeful character that you have in DC. Number 2 would be Wonder Woman. Batman's always been a dark motherfucker. You want to go dark, do it with that dude.
Not
right?
always.
I'm just
It's only since the 80s.
Yeah.
Really.
Adam West was pretty dark.
Yeah, you ought to check out this Adam West guy. He does a pretty good Batman you may be interested in.
Right.
Shark repellent.
So
Dude,
real quick,
he was always prepared. I don't know how he knew.
Always.
Because Jacob gave me a great like crossover to the Joker one because that's who got him pregnant. But Henry Cavill's out.
The Joker
Younger
got Jacob
Superman.
pregnant?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Green Lantern, very important, maybe on HBO Max. The DCU is eyeing Ben Affleck to direct a movie, which would be very smart on their part.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see a Batman directed by Ben
They may
Affleck.
not have a choice
he's great.
if it was
He's
in
great
a
at it.
contract.
Yeah, maybe Jane. You might
Actually,
be
there
right
was
there.
one, but no, Jane. There was one, right? There was one he was going to be in and direct.
Yes, but
That was
I
supposed
thought
to be
that
the Batman.
right, but
That's
he
what
had
Reeves
the
took, yeah.
issues with alcohol again, and I think that's what put and plus he was in Batman v Superman, and I think those two things combined.
Yeah.
Well, the boss
he's
is
gonna
listening.
he's gonna do the known and obscure heroes. James Gunn comments on a full DC movie recast. I guess he'll be recasting. I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory. We're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. Okay, so I guess he's not everybody. Jenkins out. Gal Gadot probably out.
Well, I said may not be.
Well, may not be, but I don't think she's going to be there. She's like already thanked people and praying that she's still there.
Out.
Okay, but
Everybody out.
But
She's
this
so
title,
hot,
yeah, thank you. But this
None of
title
us.
here is a duh moment. We already know the Trinity is these three characters. This
Yeah.
is duh.
They're gone.
Which three?
No, I'm not the characters, Jane.
It's so hard
the actors may be
to
gone.
say goodbye to yesterday.
Yeah, Gal Gadot's gone for political views because the person who
All
was born
I
and raised
know.
in Israel
Yeah,
can't is
Can't play-
pro-Israel. That's a problem.
right. Israel, and she
is
can't play
James Gunn
Cleopatra.
firing his wife?
It's so hard.
Probably not. DC is
Culture,
active.
we're moving on.
They're doing other projects. What are these other projects? I don't know, but it's actively happening. Producing an Elseworlds DC project. I don't know Elseworlds very well. Is
Okay.
that okay? Okay. Anybody? Okay. Thank you.
Elseworlds is just a tale outside of continuity.
Okay.
It's just a it's
a
just
what
the
if.
way- It's just the way. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, man. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a non-canonical what if.
Ooh,
don't
you
wanna
even
see
used
that
that word
crap.
properly. Holy crap!
Now, this is something they probably try to make you think is a good thing, but they're saying the DC will have synergy with the DC Comics, which brings us to this article right here.
I don't have the. Wait, here it is.
Joker
Oh,
becomes
man.
pregnant in new DC comic, and you'll never guess the father.
I did this for my homies. I did this. Nobody knows T2. He was a Third Coast rapper, and he used it. Lil Flip had, he used that
Lil
Pac-Man
Flip.
beat. Yeah, he used it for Game Over, and then T2 had a response. No, I'm sorry. T2 had he used the Pac-Man beat, and then in response, Lil Flip used it, but the Game Over part of it as a response. It's just beef on the Third Coast.
I wish it
What?
was a little bit taller. I wish it was a.
Wow, you went
Go on, say
way
the
back.
next line, culture, while your wife's listening.
Yeah,
No.
Okay, anywho.
too short for the record.
Yeah, but Joker got pregnant, everybody. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy for him. I would like to know where he registered. Maybe we could pitch in,
Okay.
get a little
He's already
mud
had the
crib.
baby.
Well, I want to take a toaster bath.
A toaster bag?
Well, I mean, that's what the go-to would be.
That's dark as F, dude.
Oh, sure.
Holy shit.
Well, okay, so the story shows a confrontation between the Joker and Zatanna as the latter foils the Clown Prince of Crime's plot to steal Gotham's water supply. Disgusted by Joker's flirtation, Zatanna casts one of her signature backward spells on no else baby. Yaby translates no one else will ever have your baby. That spell winds up having some unintended consequences. Joker wakes up the next morning to discover he's suddenly 9 months pregnant and ready to pop. He then vomits up a blob of sentient mud that quickly morphs into a
Or
tiny
clay.
Joker.
Would be Clay.
It could be clay. Okay. Tiny Joker Doppelganger. Doppelganger.
A doppelganger.
Wait, I don't.
Somebody clip that. I want to know what a doppelganger is. Stat.
Well, it's a doppelganger, but it comes out the other end.
Right. Thank you. You throw up a doppelganger.
Yeah.
A doppelganger.
But his doppelganger. We can't imagine Zatanna is going to be thrilled with this turn of event, or Batman for that matter. So he
Why would
gives
Batman
birth
give a
through
shit?
the mouth.
Right. Yeah. As everyone knows, it's the other butthole.
Right, for men at least. Yeah, so
Cool,
anybody-
man. I don't know if they're trying to troll the right, but the left can't meme. I would be less of. I wouldn't be. I think the most offensive part of it is they're so bad at it. If they were halfway decent at their got him. Ooh, I know we'll make Red Skull Jordan Peterson. That'll get him. Like, bro.
Let me say this. The second most offensive part of this, or is what you just said. The first most offensive part of this is the art, because it sucks. Oh
It
shit!
really does. It really does.
Jane, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so that's the doctor
That's a
who's
PAT
looking at him,
scan?
and he says, "I don't even know where it's
Pap
going to come
smear,
out
damn
of."
it.
Yeah.
And then he wants his bush.
Did Joker get a C-section? Is that the implication here?
They
No,
said
he threw it up. He threw it up.
threw it up, but you don't see him throw it up in this scene. Maybe it's in the bottom one over
It's
Yeah, you see him
another
throw it up
one.
in the comic.
Let me find it.
Yeah, please find
And
that.
also, this isn't an actual
That's
comic.
right.
This is like a 5-page thing at the end of another comic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's again kind of an elseworldy dumb shit thing.
Yeah.
So this is just hell, right? This is just hell that we're all experiencing right now. Is
Right.
that-
Well, it's because they switched on that thing again. What is it called? The Higgs Biden? Not the Higgs Biden. What is it?
It's Biden
The Harris
particle.
Biden particle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time they switch that on, it puts us on this weird timeline. Oh shit! There was a scientific paper that came out, a research paper, whatever, on the Mandela effect, and they're like, we don't know why it's a thing.
We do know why it's a thing.
Legit is proving
Divergent.
that Mandela effect is real.
Yeah, the divergent timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you with the Mandela effect.
Oh hell
We'll be
yeah!
talking about that.
Fruit of
in
the Loom ain't got
future,
no-
New Zealand
Can't-
was
whatever
never
that
that
thing
high.
is.
You need to give up on that.
dude.
What?
This is ridiculous, Jane. Look at that.
It's
Look at.
sick. It's so stupid.
I mean, if that's
First
not
of all, okay.
it's not Clayface. I don't know what he's literally drawn exactly like Clayface.
Do you think the doctor's like looking under like I shouldn't have spent so much time down below? Like
That's the thing. Like, why would they put those images in this
Right.
comic?
right.
To show that men can get pap smears as well.
That's literally.
No, that's actually a test for a whole other thing, dude. You did one of the diseases you had that you had to get penicillin for.
What?
Well,
You can just do a pap smear?
No,
No, you
that's
just
when they
didn't.
take that when they took the thing and they shoved it up your hee haw and then swirled.
Oh
it
no, I
around.
never got rotted. My
I
my
did,
buddy.
but
oh,
not
man.
for the no to test. They used to test you with they were like pipe cleaners.
Right. Yeah. I never
sounds
had it
fine.
done.
That was
But my-
1995. Never again.
But
Who
my,
is that
my,
comic
uh,
supposed to be for, guys?
I don't know.
just-
That's what I'm talking
Like,
about.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
No,
By the way,
Remember
please-
when, like,
Can
we used
everyone
to
let
collect
Mark
comics
talk?
when we were
You, Mark.
kids?
It
Yeah.
was all
Huh?
for you.
No, let Mark talk. He hasn't
What
talked.
the hell it was? No, I'm just saying. We used to collect comics when we were kids, young teens and stuff like that. And, it appealed to our imaginations. We had fun. Like, what the hell is this? This is twisted.
Yes.
Why are they doing this?
Well, see, what happened is that we started letting Tumblr writers write modern comic books for us, and this is the ideas that they're coming up with. And
Well,
they're going
that's
to get
true.
high fives and people within their own community, while everyone else is like, "What the actual fuck is this shit?"
No.
and they use this shield of if you fire me, you're a bigot or a racist or a whatever. So even though that they fail, you're like, oh, I can't, fire him because then we'll give her another comic. I forgot her name.
And unfortunately, we don't have anyone who's like, "Okay, fine, you can call me a bigot from the unemployment line, but you're still gone." So
It's just no, but Mark, you have a valid point. Like, oh, it's only 5 pages at the end of a comic, but it's 5 pages at the end of a comic that a parent might not have seen and might be against. Because I wouldn't want my kids. I'm sorry. It's first of all, it's weird. It's disgusting, and a young kid shouldn't be reading any of that. It just again, it's trying to put the idea that this can, man, how do you say it? I mean, like this can happen in real life. Which
You're showing a man pregnant.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You're
Biological.
showing like he's like vomiting some demon shit. Like, what is that, bro?
they call it
I mean, we gotta-
demonic.
I think it's called healthcare.
I could point fingers, but there's some people in the audience who get mad. But yeah, well, at least they're not doing this in Florida.
like who?
That's all I have to say about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of not getting mad, should I play this thing now?
Yes.
What? Oh well, first
yeah.
we need to
no?
explain it.
Well, yeah. So I, being the greatest person you could have as a part of your channel, because he does everything while the other person just takes vacation, doesn't even get you a fucking t-shirt. Anyway, I got his new sponsor for
Thank you.
when Saturday dump. They're also a sponsor of movies.
Let's read this first before the new sponsor.
Yeah, because I'm right. Just
Mr.
saying.
Tickle Trunk tipped $5. Culture. Wow, that's had to pay for that. Culture's right. Start exactly where the Chris Reeves Superman did. I'm sick of watching old Paul Kent die, or Pa Kent, I think he meant. I'm sick of watching Batman's parents die. Those poor people have died 12 times on film. Culture Casino on fire. He should start a channel.
I really should.
Also,
think
we
another
saw,
15
we saw
times we'll
Clark
get it
Kent
down.
die in the first movie.
What's that?
Christopher Reeve's Superman started off on the farm
yeah.
when he was a baby.
Well, they flash back. Oh, no, you're right. They did. I think he meant to say start off where it ended. maybe after episode.
They did. Superman Returns.
Well, and then after that, I guess after that.
Yeah. So start off with him working at the Daily Planet.
Yep, Henry
And
Cavill.
there you go.
Or his high school paper. Undecided.
Let's play the new commercial for our newest
yeah.
and first ever sponsor. So please, really support these guys. Go ahead.
Yep. The only tea that touches our lips is made right here in the U.S. of A. What does it taste like? If you have to ask, you should go back to where you came from, hippie. We're tell Black Rifle Coffee to fuck off.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, guess what? When you think revolution, you think tea in America.
Yep.
So you know
American
what I'm talking about? Thank you, Red Gun Tea.
Absolutely.
Red Gun? Thank you.
Red Gun Tea, yeah.
Red Gun Tea. Thank you for
Instead of
Red
Black
Gun
Rifle, Red Gun. It's the fake gun that you use in training. So Black Rifle and tea instead of coffee. I thought it was
Oh, wait, that was a joke?
I never got the Red Gun thing. I'm sorry. I'm not.
So wait, that was a joke? So we don't have a sponsor.
No. Red Gun.
No, it's not a joke.
That's
Red
their
Gun Tea.
name. He's just explaining what Red Gun means.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
A veteran made that video.
Yeah. This is veteran made too. Because Black Rifle, well, I mean, not an American veteran, but a veteran. You know, on an island somewhere.
A veteran.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
probably. I don't know how they can serve in that country.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says, "I want tea now." See, winner. We don't have a link to them yet because there's something
no
weird
information.
Yeah, every time you call, it's like an Indian guy like telemarketing thing. But we will get to the people again, right?
They're going the Neil Breen route.
I got a guy called John Smith when I spoke. Yeah, so
they're going the Neil Breen. They're going the Neil Breen route of announcing that it's going to come, but he didn't give it a trailer or a name or anything. He's like, but it's real and it's done.
Yeah.
So they're kind of doing that, building up. Like people are like, "Ooh, I want that," but it's oh man, not everybody can have it because they just don't give the information. You got to earn it by doing the work to find it. I think it's smart.
I think it is too. Are you going to buy that, Mark?
Sure.
Thank you.
Give me that link.
Thank you for supporting that channel. We don't have a link yet, but we're going to get there. I do have something else up on the description, but I kind of wanted to go with this. I just saw it today, this whole people attacking other people for talking about Hogwarts Legacy on Twitter.
Oh yeah, this whole thing with the weirdos saying that if you like this or buy this game, you're like a bigot or something.
Yeah, what is that? Just because of JK?
I'll
yeah,
go buy it now.
It all goes back to JK. Like they're still all over her because apparently she doesn't like men playing against like women or something like that. So she's a bigot and a turf or something.
Yeah, what does turf mean?
I don't know. That's something the weird people say. So
oh wait, turf is trans. Yeah.
Feminist.
Yeah, as opposed to surf, which is sex worker exclusionary radical feminist. So you have surf and turf. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who should be locked in a nut house at this point.
Not a joke. That's a real thing.
That's a legitimate thing. But here's the thing: you can't be a turf if you're not radicalized. But if you disagree with that, you're automatically radicalized.
Correct.
So
yeah, it's a way for them to basically weaponize their identity against actual biological
women.
Oh, okay.
It's mental illness with more steps.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, you said that.
What is going on?
I'm so confused, man. Nowadays,
Jacob did. Was it abortion with more steps that you said llast week?
Oh yeah, with the
dude, the girlfriend loved that.
With the motorcycle girl, yeah.
Yeah. Good fucking line.
There it is. Exclusive. Yeah, did I say that right? Radical feminist. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now I got it.
I don't believe that people who had surgery to look like women are actual women.
Yeah. Well,
because there's no such thing as a TEF. You have to be radicalized.
Well, it's worse than that. If you just identify as a woman and you deny them that identity, you're a turf.
Well, you don't even have to. You don't even have to do it. If you just basically say, "No, I'm an actual woman," that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, that would qualify you as a turf. Yeah.
At this point, I'd rather just be a bigot because at least I know what that actually means. So
I follow this guy Zuby. Do anybody follow him?
Never.
No, Tubi. I thought
he
was
he has the world record for the.
He does.
By a woman.
Yes,
Wait,
Zuby is
by
base.
what?
Zuby is
a
base.
woman for 22 minutes, and then he broke the world record, and then transitioned back.
Yeah, hold on, I'm going to show it to you. We'll probably get nailed for this, but I don't care. Zuby is he's a rapper. Oxford grad, English guy, smart as hell, based, and he decided to break a record.
Wow. P.S. I identify. And he's fucking jacked. So he decided to identify as a woman.
Watch me destroy
So he destroys the British women's deadlift record without even trying.
Wow.
P.S. I identified as a woman whilst lifting weights. Don't be a bigot.
I love this motherfucker.
And he's so jacked. Imagine.
So
Wow. That's
will they
fucking
give
brilliant.
him the? Will they give him the record?
They did.
That's what they did.
They did.
Shut up.
You can look it up.
Well, now I feel bad that that lady got executed.
What the?
What?
What?
What are you
The
talking?
first trans woman was executed
dude
the other
that-
Oh,
day.
yeah.
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 I mean, if we're gonna say, okay, yes, you qualified and you get the record. I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, in Britain, sure.
her go.
Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Legion of Memers. They're killing it on Twitter right now, and I will be showing those pictures at the end of the
Good.
show. Thank you.
Because they are crushing it.
They are crushing it. Yeah, it's the bizarro world we live in. We can only fight back by showing the hypocrisy and the just
Stupidity.
and
holding up
the
a mirror.
Like, it's hilarious. I'm sorry. I laugh and cry at the same time.
You know, reasonable people actually laugh at this shit. It's this tiny little fraction that's supported by the mainstream that actually get any attention, and that's a problem.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you how we can fight back, but I don't want to get thrown in with those January 6th protesters.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. You better
Oh,
watch
that's-
yourself here,
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Watch yourself here.
Yeah. We're
I mean,
pro
honestly,
committee.
I don't even find it funny. I find it very sort of malicious on their part because
Oh yeah, indeed.
it's part of this much larger agenda to deconstruct gender norms and even just in terms of our existence as women and as men. Like, that's insane what they're trying to do.
And that's why you're seeing the rise of both the Manosphere and the Femisphere, or whatever they're calling
I
that.
kind of put those on a different. To me, that's a whole other set of problems.
But it's a conversation that basically knocks down a lot of those ideas of spreading out the idea that there's a billion freaking genders, because we still only talk in the binary, and there's a reason for that because it's biological.
It does, but those two groups just constantly hate each other. Like, to me, that what's being promoted there is part of the problem, because all they can ever say is something critical of the other gender and pursue division between the two, which exactly is what feeds into this larger social agenda.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I don't perceive it the same way when it comes to the stuff that I've seen. I mean, watching somebody like Just Pearly Things. Have you watched her stuff?
Mm-mm.
Okay, she breaks it down statistically, right? And I can't remember the name of the guys that do it, but they're out of Vegas, right? And there's a guy out of Miami that does it as well, like the Fit and Fresh guys, right? The Andrew Tate wannabe.
Oh, they suck. They
The
are
Liver
horrible.
King guy.
Those
the-
Fit and
the
Fresh or
Oscars.
whatever are
No,
absolutely
none of those guys.
disgusting degenerates.
Well, perhaps, but the point is when you look at what Pearl is doing with her channel, right? She's giving people numbers and statistics and all of these other things. I think that it's incredibly valuable to have numbers that you can break down on, just what happens in a single parent family, a single parent household. It's very important to have that information, in particular single mothers. I think it's very important to have information, how body count and all that other stuff matters.
I think all of that is very important. The problem I have with these two spheres is when they're constantly degrading the other gender instead of promoting healthy families. And on the Manosphere side, I don't see, okay, this is how I want to become a better man and be a better father and a better husband and raise my children. You don't see that. For the most part, it's women are trash for this reason, that reason, or the other. Or this is how you get women. This is how you play the game. This is how you up your body count.
Yeah.
And on the female side, it's men are trash.
I will agree with that one point,
men are
because
terrible.
I will agree with that one point. I think what you're saying, especially like some of those channels, is like the whole like Andrew Tate thing, where he's telling men how to like get women and stuff, but he's not really telling them like better, like you said, leadership qualities and like how to be a better father and being the better husband. Right. Because a lot of these guys who listen to him are kind of in that sphere where they don't get a lot of women or they have troubles with getting women, so they kind of look to what they view as a role model or influence to get them to what they perceive to be manhood. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. No, keep going, Jake, because when you're done,
I agree with you. He was gonna interrupt you to say he agreed with you.
Yeah. That's all I want to do. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say, no, he's on it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much all I was gonna say. Is they think that the kind of that old Hugh Hefner of like vision of what a man is from like 30 years ago. They think that that's the idea of like a peak male, where like real masculinity is just being a fucking good father who takes care of his kids and takes care of his wife,
being a provider, being a traditional husband, the whole nine. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Like, okay, so let me give you a female representative in the Manosphere. Her name is Sarah Dawn Moore. You can find her. She's does long form videos and shorts on YouTube, and she's probably what you're looking for in that sphere, Jane, because she's just trying to explain men to women, right? And why the things that men value and all of that.
Here's the problem. The problem is that a lot of these people who are doing all this stuff are not married. That's part of the problem, and they're basically just making a business off of hate. And off of turning people against one another or blaming one gender or the other instead of uplifting people. What I want to see are more happily married couples who are talking to young men and women who aren't married but who want to be about what it takes, what you need to bring to the table, what it's going to be like, what the challenges are, how to get through those, how not to walk away when you just get upset or when you don't want to be there anymore, how to raise children, how complicated that's going to be, some of the troubles you're going to run into. Like, those should be very positive environments.
What that sounds like? Sounds like, Jane? That sounds like parents.
Yes.
I was actually going to say, growing up, that sounds like your youth ministers. It was usually a husband and a wife that led.
I agree. It should be those people. What I'm saying is these spheres aren't doing that.
Right. And also, Jane
themselves off of division more often than not. There may be a few who aren't, and I have seen a couple who are more focused on, look, this is what you need to do to improve your health and your finances and get yourself in a position to be in a healthy relationship. Like, that's fine. But a lot of it is just the other side is terrible.
Real quick, Jane sounds like Matt Walsh right now. Does anybody else hear it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is everything. This was his entire episode, his last episode.
So you know who Kevin Samuels was, right?
Oh God, I hated
Rest
him.
in peace.
Yeah, you didn't like him at all.
No, not at all.
And how was he? I'm just curious because I need a balance or I need a perspective. So how was he the thing that you despise?
This is a guy that was constantly tearing people down. That's all he ever did. And for someone who is so hypocritical as well, this guy has been divorced multiple times and he's up here trashing women and dragging them when all he had to do was focus on helping men to improve, to put themselves in a position to be good men, to find wives and what to look for. He didn't do that. He actually had call-in shows where women would call in and he would trash their looks, trash their personalities, and mostly Black women, by the way, and just drag them in the most terrible way. I don't know why they were even calling in the first place, because this is what
that he did focus on men for years before he started that, right?
I do.
Yeah.
But I know it wasn't profitable until he started trashing women.
And who was calling into his show? It was women. Women were calling into his show.
Oh yeah.
So they were providing him with that. And I think what it ended up being was he was showing they were being spotlighted for not being self-aware. You know what I mean? Like, they had very unrealistic expectations for the men that they were going after. I think the point was how all of the women tend to go for the same type of guy, which is the reason why they were failing at trying to have a good relationship, because they were all chasing after the same thing, which was unrealistic. So that tended to be the focus of where he was going with that.
His focus should have been on the men, because he's a man. As a man, you can't teach a woman how to be a woman.
No,
As
but
a man, you should have been focused on teaching the men how to be better men.
Well, can you also tell women what men are actually thinking or what men's expectations are.
Not somebody who had been divorced as many times as he had. No.
Okay,
but they did keep calling
he was
in.
An image. He was
I don't
an
know
image
him that well.
consultant.
I know they kept calling. That was terrible.
I never understood that, but they did.
But wait. I mean, people who've experienced divorce would have a perspective on that, right?
This is true.
I don't think he could have come from his perspective. These are the things that I did wrong in my marriage. These are the things I did wrong in my relationship. And men, these are things perhaps you shouldn't follow in my footsteps. You shouldn't make the same mistakes I made. That's where his focus should have been.
One, don't marry a lesbian.
He pivoted toward attacking women solely because division pays in that industry in particular.
So I'll ask a question. So should the boss and I host a conversation about that then?
I think that would be a great channel.
I think that would be great.
To be fair, though, Kevin Samuels did play a role in getting many people together, though. You know, you don't hear that side of the story. There are a lot of couples who say that they got together through him, you know, through listening to his advice. So that's the other side of it. It's more sensational. Like what you're talking about is what everybody knows him for. It's kind of like, you know, Malcolm X being stuck as Malcolm X instead of like the later years of his life.
Yeah,
when he got into
evolved.
other things.
Yeah,
and he's been clipped, and you're right, Mark, because he's been clipped 3 ways to Sunday, right? I mean, you see his shorts everywhere, right? You know, whether it be on TikTok or whatnot.
But that's his fault, though. He could have even if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to talk to women, I'm going to try to advise them on what they need to look for. First of all, I don't think you should be doing that. Like I've said before, I don't think that he's in a position to do that. But if you're going to do it, who are you to tell these people you don't know that their standards are what they should be?
Who is in a position, though? You realize that, you know, unfortunately, and, you know, we're part of, you know, the Black community, you and I, you know how difficult it is, you know, to be critical of the Black community. You know, I was doing it in my earlier videos. All I ever did was get cussed out, you know, and you come from a good place, but people just don't want to hear it. You know, oh, you know, you're trying to show off for those white people. You're doing this, you're doing that. They question your motives. Who are you? Who are you? Okay, so nobody can tell you the truth about yourself. You know, if you try to tell the truth,
sometimes it's how you do it, though. It's how you can tell somebody something without tearing them down, and that's the problem I had with him. Is that
the only way you get attention is by doing it that way.
So Jane, if I'm right, it's not the message; it's the method.
It's partly that, but it's also I feel like he should have been focused more as a man. He should have been focused more on men. If you're saying to these women, let's just say. He would tell women, a particular woman, that her standards were too high if she wanted to marry a man who had her same educational background. Like, what sense does that make?
That's kind of wrong. I get that.
I've talked in my videos about how important the Black Panther T'Challa is for the Black father, Black son relationships. And I've had women come in and say, well, what about women? What about women? I had one person tell me that my mother should have aborted me because she disagreed with what I was saying about Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you have to be a little bit harder, a little bit more abrasive just to get people to listen, because all they want to do is take offense before they listen. So sometimes that's how you get their attention.
That's true.
You know, you want to take offense, I'll give you something to take offense about. I'm sorry, what?
I've dealt with people like that even on my channel as well. But what I'm saying is if you're talking directly to somebody and you're trying to give them advice, even though you probably shouldn't, but you're trying to give them personal advice on what they should be looking for in a partner, telling them that their standard is too high is ridiculous.
But what if it is?
You don't know that. You don't know that person. You're not in the position to say that.
Well, you can only know that if you listen to him, though, right?
Right, and I'm not defending, but they're calling into a guy they know that's going to talk to him like this. They should expect it. Then, you know, like it's one of those catch-22s. He gave advice to people that called in, and then those people hated the advice he gave. Then why did you call in the first place? Because you thought maybe you were going to be the one that changed this guy.
I agree, but
you know what I mean.
This is the thing, though. It comes down to this. You know that these people are calling in because you're not going to be able to stop them from calling in. It's stupid that they're doing it. These people are going on Fit and Fresh or whatever. You know it's stupid that they're going on there. You already know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to say. So why are you contributing to it? But at the same time, you as the host, why are you putting that image out there? That's the problem I have. Why are you contributing to a hostile environment as it concerns men and women coming together? Why are you feeding into division on that front when we have this agenda pushing men and women apart?
If somebody's carrying a delusion, Jane, and I'm sorry, Dimash, I really want to hear from you, but
hey, Dimash.
If somebody's carrying a delusion, Jane, wouldn't you want to disabuse them of that?
What is the delusion, though?
Well, your
point is very solid with the one you said, Jane, but there were women that some of it they went in confrontational, so he gave the confrontation back. But can I just real quick, because you have a point. If you have education, you want to meet a guy with the same education, damn right you should be able to.
But this is the thing, particularly in this whole Black manosphere aspect of it, since we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm. And
Black women are consistently criticized in our community for focusing on education,
right?
For focusing on our careers. And it didn't matter. We're still now the most educated group in the country. We're still now on track to become second only to white men in terms of financial wealth and security. And
Amen.
What people on that side often tell us is that we shouldn't expect that from Black male partners. That is what they're pushing. Instead of what they should be doing is investing in and supporting men and elevating them to get to that point where they're on the same level or above.
But the question is,
they don't want to do that.
Real quick, because he's probably gone, but I need to let him know. Snowdub tip $5. Thanks for all the raids last year. Much love from Cotton Connection. So after this show, guys, go show him another love with the Tuck and Roll show. We'll make sure to put his link in there. I apologize. I just wanted to get that out there. Damaj and I'd like to hear from you, sir. Welcome to the party.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Good, sir.
We're good, brother, and it's great to see you, man. Nice hat, dude. Nice hat.
Thank you. So, Jane, I just jumped in this the little telling. I'm not a super fan of all that stuff because to me, I don't think the internet should be your go-to for any kind of knowledge. I mean, it should be a supplementary. But if you're going there, like how you guys said, it should be like your parents, your youth ministers, whatever. But the thing I was going to say, the reason why people do the thing they do, Jane, is the same reason why the news only tells terrible things. Because the bad things sell. Because you could be the nicest guy out there, right? And sure, you might have people out there have some channels that are great, they're kind of wholesome, that work. But you get that hot fire foot traffic if you have that confrontational thing going. That's the reason why they do it. That's the reason why. That's the reason why Kevin Samuels did it. That's the reason why the women called up that went to it. That's people who like Andrew Tate do it. It's because that type of entertainment, for lack of a better word, it sells. That negative type of thing works. It sells. That's why they do it.
It's very strange. And again, I mean, I think people do hold others to a certain level of accountability in a lot of different ways, especially when it comes to relationships and things like that. And I feel like when you look at somebody who has set their bar too high, I think you should tell them your bar is way too high. I
think
I 100% disagree with that. I think if someone wants to shoot for the stars, let them shoot for the stars. If they don't get anyone because of that, that's fine.
But that's not. Oh, sure, but they're going to be miserable and alone. See, and again, it comes down to
that's their choice then.
You're right, dude.
Exactly.
But so we let people choose to be miserable. I'm not okay with that.
Well, if they lower their standard and they're not really genuinely okay with it, then they're just going to be resentful in their next relationship.
I was going to say, if you lower your thing, that's the problem. The worst thing you can do is be resentful, sort of thing. You don't want your partner 10 years down the track.
I think
a better approach would be to explore. I think a better approach would be for them to explore, what does this standard mean for you? You say you want somebody who earns a certain income. Why is that? Is it because you want to feel secure financially for your family? Is that what it is? And if so, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what that means, what that looks like for you, what's reasonable under the circumstances. There's a way of going about it than
Sure.
saying, no, you're trash and you're never going to meet anybody.
No, and there are lots of channels that do that. And like I said, there's this one podcast that comes out of Vegas that does it very well. It's just like, if the average salary in America is $38,000, right? And that's what it is,
Mhm.
right? And the average height for a guy is 5'9", right? If you're looking for like $200,000 a year and a 6'3" dude, other than, obviously Mark, how many guys are going to measure up? Is that going to be that?
Statistically, a few more above the 50%, a few more less than 50%.
No, it's way less than 50%.
But you know what? This is what I would say to that. I would say to that, for men, focus on the men and helping them to get educated and get into careers where they can make more money, become more financially secure, become more financially responsible. And over here, let the women work on talking to other women about looking for men who actually respect you and who love you and who care for you and who you can trust. And that, will come together in the middle. But this hostility is like, look, my bottom line is this is a very dangerous game people are playing in a society where half of all marriages end in divorce. People aren't even getting married. We have hookup culture that's being promoted. Children are being born out of wedlock, if they're being born at all, because we're not replacing our population in the West. And people are playing these games as if this can continue indefinitely. It can't.
No. And that's the whole point. That's the thing I have a problem with. And I understand. I don't want to go about it in a negative way either, Jane. I think it's important to build into this. But there has to be some recognition of some truths. What's the percentage of divorce that's actually initiated by the women?
I think it's an overwhelming majority. And I think that goes 80%, to the fact that they should not, a lot of these people have gotten into marriages that they shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place.
I think a big portion of
people don't know how they don't know one another before they get married. They don't actually date or court anymore. You have people who are damaging themselves by engaging in absolute whoredom and debauchery.
I hate that.
Until they find somebody they decide to settle down with, who they don't actually want to be with, who they have no respect for, and neither one of them is actually in a position to be in a stable, committed relationship, and you wonder why the relationships fall apart.
Jacob? I think a big problem with our generation, you see this a lot with people. This is not even just like any specific demographic. You see it generalized, that a lot of people don't want to come to the conclusion that they may be responsible for the unhappiness, and their choices may be part of that problem. And I think a big thing when it comes to like dating, especially nowadays, is that I think, well, like I said, a lot of the problem is you have people who are just in relationships that shouldn't be in relationships with one another because they don't have the same goals. They have something that maybe one person values about themselves when it comes to a relationship, but that may not be what the other person values in a relationship. And people get into relationship with bad values, and it always ends in disaster. Mm-hmm. I remember Jane was just speaking a minute ago about how black women have moved into, like, say, career fields, and they've gotten like well-paying jobs. And a lot of black women truly do value like their careers and what they've attained throughout years of education and their accomplishments. Now, that may work for some guys, but a lot of guys, that's not something that they would value. So that'd be an issue where a woman values something about herself that maybe that particular guy isn't looking for. Now, that's not the case of absolutely everyone. Obviously, you're going to have different variations there, but that's obviously a big part of the problem. If you're trying to what's the best way I can put this? If you're trying to, I guess, put what you would think that you would bring to a table into a relationship, that's something that you would put high value into, and the other person isn't exactly looking into that, well, you can't really change that person's mind. Like, if you want to be with a woman who wants to have if you want to be with a woman who wants to have lots of kids, it doesn't make any sense to be with someone who hates having kids or doesn't like the idea of having kids, under the impression that, well, maybe a few years into the relationship she may change her mind. If she's telling you straight off the back that she doesn't want kids, she doesn't value kids, then that should be your warning sign to be like, okay, hey, look, this isn't going to work. I'll move on and find somebody else. But a lot of people, like I said, just don't like hearing that, maybe you're just not as compatible as you think you are. Maybe you're asking for a little too much out of this person. Maybe you find happiness with another person. You know what I mean?
I think, too, it goes to socialization as well. Because in terms of what people value, I mean, we can't pretend that's happening in a vacuum. And that's part of the issue I have with a lot of what's going on in social media and a lot of what's going on in the schools, and how, you have this sort of global programming that's happening in terms of what people look for in another person and a mate. Like you have to have some sort of this, I don't know, it just seems like almost everything that's being pushed these days is specifically designed to feed into or contribute to these types of divisions when they didn't always exist.
China.
No. You know why that is, Jane, right? You know why that is, right? Even for something as simple as family relationships, people with different pigmentations, all the way down. What that does, what that's for, is to make sure that everybody's at each other instead of being at the people who are causing the problem.
Yeah.
That's what it is designed for. That everything is that design.
Yep, and people look. Relationships are hard right off the bat. So if you're gonna get into a relationship that you haven't already discussed all these important ideas with the person, then that is a dumb person to marry. Like, you need to understand what you want in life. And even then, 5 to 10 years later, things change, people change. So it takes a lot to stay in a committed relationship. It takes even more to stay in a marriage. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does. I think I can't speak on any of this. All I could speak on is that that was a damn good discussion. People in the chat respect that we can have discussions like this without name calling and attacking one another. That's the thing. It's called respect.
It's grown folks here. It's grown folk talk.
And all I know is I want to end it on something funny.
Yeah.
So
Mad's not here though.
Well, he'll be back.
Okay.
We're gonna look at
something funny.
By the way, do we ever talk about American Chavez, or we're just
what about that broad? Everybody's racist. People are racist. That's what it was. It's she's talking about again how people attacked her. So the Movie Web article is about how fans reacted to her, toxic fan comments.
Time out. Okay, when was this article written?
Published 3 hours ago.
Okay, realize how far away are we from Mom?
Like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
So my issue with women is this. Did I already miss the conversation?
Buddy, you missed it.
Damn
I'm
it.
sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Well, this is okay. So this is from a discussion about her Marvel debut, and then experience with Miss Marvel's I Am Valani. So it's about another young woman. So this is what she says. It was just nice to be able to have these shared experience between the two girls that made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only one. And especially with harassment and haters and stuff, and being able to be like, okay, it's not just me. This happens to you. It happens to a few other people as well. But it's like sometimes when it's in the moment, you forget. And it's just because this thing of like, what is going on to me? And it's just so much worse for brown people because there's layers of racism and it's tough. And so being able to talk to Iman, thank you. And be like, you're not the only one, and being able to show my support and being able to kind of take her out to dinner and be able to take
her out to dinner.
Yeah, she'd take her out to dinner and be able to take her mind off of it, be able to like release it all. And then afterwards being able to laugh and just be like, look at the conversation we just had. Look at that. We're laughing and it's great. Like, she didn't say like at the end. I added that. But
what the hell is even that?
You lost me so early on in that shit.
Yeah,
I got so distracted. But I got
this is called being waterboarded by absolute nonsense.
I got distracted by trying to figure out how you kind of take someone to dinner. Is that ordering DoorDash for them?
You ordered Taco Bell delivered to their house. Yeah. No, look, this is like word salad. The paragraph.
I didn't know what the hell she said.
Well, it all stems from the fact that she was copying stuff for not being brown enough for the role. That's what it comes down to. And that was all the shit because she was too light skinned to play.
But that was from her. That was from Latinos.
That's
that
what
was
she's
not
talking about. That's
right.
Talking about
But they're in the article. The article wants you to think it's toxic fan comments.
Yeah.
So they want to make it seem like it's us.
The idea that people were attacking her because she was playing America Chavez is like, well, why would they be attacking the actress? Because no one really cares about the character anyway. So it's like the character isn't even to begin with.
Didn't even care.
To have angry enough people to be like, oh, you're gonna let this girl play her, America Chavez? It's like, no one cares.
I don't remember people attacking her. Do you, Jane? Like
I
people.
Do. I do. It was on the left because she wasn't dark enough for comic book representation. That wasn't this side.
Here's the problem, though. It's the same thing with the girl who played Snow White. People are upset about the color difference, but to me, in this case, it is somewhat different because that character has been portrayed in different types.
Yes,
like they're not consistent on what she looks like. Sometimes they make her look like an Afro Hispanic.
Yep.
And then on the other hand, they make her look more indigenous. So it's like, which is it? It's kind of not the fans' fault for getting confused as to what she's supposed to look like, because if she's supposed to be Afro-Latina, then it's a race swap. If she's supposed to be indigenous, then it's a perfect casting. So which is it?
Right. Well, it's also from an entirely different planet named America. There's a lot of issues with this character.
Are you saying that Marvel isn't consistent with the way that they write and portray characters in modern day?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just love
that's
how
a very dirty.
The shock!
Right.
Oh, what horror!
But I just love up here. But of course, toxic fan comments are nothing new and seem to have become something of an expectation when it comes to any movie or TV show that
she never mentioned any of that. That's what she's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. The article's twisting around what happened just for the sake of it. That's what I'm saying. Like the context is about what happened earlier.
Yes. So they want to make it seem like it's elements of diversity and woke characters that were being attacked when it really was people were upset she wasn't dark enough. And that was coming from Latinos of the woke variety. I'm sorry, it was.
I know.
Well, even white people.
I disagree with that because that's like saying that there's something wrong with us not wanting characters to be race swapped.
Right.
Some people saw the Afro-Latina version of her.
Good point.
This is the Disney marketing strategy now. Like this is going to be the future for the next few years, and we've seen this with Star Wars to the MCU. This is going to continue because Disney knows that they're going to continue to come out with more race swap characters, whether it's in the comic book movies or their Disney princess movies, wherever the case may be. And they know that there's going to be backlash about it. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to front load it by saying, "Well, here we're doing this because look at all these racist people who have a problem with this person playing this character, this person playing this character." So they're using the fake outrage that they're generating to justify the continuation of all these race swaps that they know that they're going to do in the first place.
Even when they don't need to. With House of Dragon, they like you said, they preloaded everything like, oh, they're going to hate it because but everybody, the majority of people enjoyed the show. They ended up enjoying the show despite the issues with casting or whatever.
Step away from the belief.
I got a real simple solution to this. Nobody cares about America Chavez.
Not really.
No,
I don't care. I don't care. I just don't. I don't like be whoever you want to be, America Chavez. She's not a character that Miss Marvel's not. Carol Danvers isn't. I don't care. Like they're trying to push it, and they're doing this now. They used this 3 hours ago. The Marvels is coming out this year, so they kind of get that.
There you go.
They getting to chug it up.
Yeah, and keep in mind they did this with Star Wars with the Obi-Wan Kenobi chick, where before the show came out, it was all like, "Oh, look at all these racist people on her Instagram saying that she can't play a Jedi," and everybody else is like, "I don't even know who she is."
Right?
Like, I don't even know who she
and nobody saw the receipts, right? There was no. Did anybody see any receipts on that? Was there like 2 or 3 receipts?
There were like three.
Dude, I'm still waiting for Kelly Marie Tran. I'm waiting for the receipts for that. We never saw anything. How many years later?
She never made the claim though. That was other people making the claim on her.
Boom.
So there are. She doesn't have receipts in.
Yeah, it's weird. And Demajan is right. It's not that we care about like the racial or the identification garbage. Blah 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 blah. It's a terrible character. You keep giving us terrible characters, right? And if the comic books flopped, right? What makes you think that they're going to succeed in the film?
Oh,
I can't. They don't care about that, man.
That's what Jane's point was. I think she was saying there's no difference between us saying that a character has been race swapped to the Afro-Latinos, thinking that for that character, because they didn't specify what run she was coming from.
the comics are only being made now to justify having these characters in the movie.
Right.
So when people are like, why is this person in the movie? Well, it's comic book accurate. Look right here from 2019
Yeah.
Everything
That's
from
how they
2012
justify Shuri as Black Panther, because she was she took the mantle in
Correct.
one issue. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
that was the
that's what I'm saying.
Like 50,
Everything
years
in it-
after the character was created.
everything in the MCU right now is based off of 2012 and up Marvel. That's what
Yes.
it's being based off of.
The recent one that nobody liked.
You have literally decades, plural, worth of material.
Yep.
Kind of like you had 100 and change of the EU of material, and you don't want to use it because you want to use the stuff for right now.
Yep.
Stuff that's made for a modern audience. By the way, if you ever hear those words, a modern audience, don't spend your money.
I mean, are we at DC? Is DC almost at 100? DC's almost at 100 years of comics. Like, go back to the beginning of Superman before DC, but still.
It was 1939, I think. Was it?
Okay, so we're getting close.
On it. We're coming up on it. We're coming up on like both of
And we're
these
still
entities
showing
existing.
the parents die.
What's happening now?
I was just
showing
saying,
the parents die.
even though it's been around for
They also don't want to wait. Like, they don't want to invest time into the characters. Let us get to know who they are. Let's see them develop over time. No, they will release a comic that, like you said, fails, and then immediately that character gets a show.
Yep.
And immediately they're the bestest ever.
At
And it's like,
best.
what is happening?
Because they don't want to take even the chance that character can be rejected. Because they put so much of themselves into these characters that they see that if this character gets rejected because nobody like it, they see that
She-Hulk.
society rejecting them.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the problem with their
She-Hulk-
entire
She-Hulk's not
ideology.
She-Hulk's not even the worst example of that. The
No.
very, very worst example of that, of a character that's made specifically by a character, is
Burn.
Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. That is
Yep.
literal self-insert.
But
And that's why that thing needs to be pushed so
That's
bad.
all modern. I am not.
Kingdom Hearts Night was probably the best TV series that Disney did
Which?
that no one saw.
Oh, Miss Marvel.
Miss
Yeah.
Marvel.
Miss
I
Marvel
don't-
was
I-
easily the
I had
best
no
of
i-
the Disney
I had
Disney
no,
series.
no desire to watch that.
No, it
whatsoever.
wasn't for
I
me.
wanted
That's
the only-
fine.
And the only reason I watched She-Hulk was because I actually liked the character. I wanted to see how badly they were going to destroy her.
Well,
And
oh,
they
Oh,
destroyed
it
her.
was so good. The way they destroyed the show was, dog shit. But it's in
No,
the
I've seen
best
the
way.
video that says otherwise, mad.
But hey, keep in mind, later this year, you're going to get Echo, who is a Native American, deaf, one-legged, possibly lesbian superhero who's going to have... Yeah.
Cannot wait.
What are they doing to us?
Like,
They
look,
have-
that is checkbox the character, right? And
Yeah.
I every time I say that, they actually one up themselves, because I've been saying that for a while now. But Echo is checkbox the character, because that's going to win all the prizes.
Yeah.
There is no
They
other.
have-
And by the way, that actress, you know what her acting experience is?
Oh,
Playing the
Echo,
character to Echo.
Playing Echo
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, that's literally her entire acting
Miss Marvel,
experience.
Miss Marvel was the same thing. She was a mega fan, and she wrote an essay, and she got marched out in front of everybody.
They had Naomi, which is actually one of the really good comics. I like the
They
comics.
did.
But then they
develop-
completely trashed her in the show.
Oh, just
Yeah,
straight
I
up.
watched
They
that
don't
was
even
my
try
own
when they
series,
have
to be honest,
something
Jane.
Yeah,
good.
can I ask you, in the Naomi
the fuck
comics,
is
did she have a love triangle between a girl and a guy?
No, none
Okay,
of the
'cause-
crazy stuff was in there.
Who's
It was like
Naomi?
an old school comic. They just
She's
put all this
the
crap
Black
in.
DC
the show.
Superman.
Some CW show, I think.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah,
a
it was
Superman
But-
super fan that
Oh,
becomes gets the abilities.
Well, no, that's Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
No,
this is for
well, yes,
DC.
they're all.
No, Naomi
yeah.
was like that too.
Yeah,
What?
dude, you don't understand. Like, everybody has to be the bestest ever, so all they have to do is inflate the powers. So there you go. So every new character is going to be Superman, only not because they're going to be whatever series of checkboxes that person needs to.
And they
The
did things
difference is
like
Naomi had a half decent comic run.
they did,
Yes.
but they did things in the show like in the comic. Her parents help her to master her powers. Like, they help train her, and they are the ones who introduce her to that, her background and all that. In the show is completely different. Like, all of that's gone. Nobody cares about the parents'
Right.
involvement in their child's life. It's just
And again, it's okay. Monkey Jeebus and a couple others are focusing in on one thing. Like this person's in a wheelchair. Well, so was Professor Xavier. That's not the point. It's like the running series of checkboxes, right? It's not the. Yeah. It's not. We've always had inclusion in comics, no matter what anybody tells you. You've always had diversity in comics, no matter what anybody tells you.
None of that existed until 2016.
Yeah, 2012, sir. 2012. Got to get it
right.
Sorry,
2012.
I mean, Madam Web, for whatever people think of that character, Madam Web's blind and in a wheelchair. But Madam Web is pretty much like the center of
attached to a web.
Right,
yeah,
but
she's like the center of that universe. Right.
She's not swinging on webs like that one that has to strap her fucking wheelchair to her back. Her legs flapping in the air. Fuck.
Oh, and she's lesbian too. So
of course she is.
Yeah. By the way, E-Clay asked if you can scissor with one leg. It's like, yeah, you can, but it's like using those lefty scissors on your wrong hand. It's like it just gets very awkward after a while.
You mean my everyday life? I'm left-handed.
I'm left-handed, and lefty scissors suck. They suck as bad as regular scissors. They weren't made for lefties. It's bullshit. By the way,
do you throw left-handed or right-handed?
I threw left-handed.
Yeah, I did too, but I could switch at the plate.
Yeah, no, not me.
I shoot right-handed too. It's weird. It's all mixed up.
Which eye do you sight down with?
My right eye.
Okay.
Why would I use my left if I'm holding it with my right?
Wouldn't you be crossing?
I watched somebody do weird. I saw somebody do weird.
Were they missing an eye?
No, but I don't know why. I was watching this happen, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
Well, maybe the other eye's glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't ask. So
well, Sporking missing testicles tipped $1.01. Why did you abandon? I am not missing them. They're just snipped. You son of a bitch. Why did you abandon me? I felt trapped like a moth in a bathtub. Edco is correct. You are a bad baldy man.
I want to apologize to your cousin on your behalf, Edwin.
Edwin.
Oh, Did I just?
You just slandered your cousin.
Oh, I slandered my cousin.
Or dead something. What do you?
First of all, my pronouns are. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says one-legged scissoring should be called a can opener.
Wow.
That's not bad.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with that.
That is fantastic.
I don't know what to do with that.
I know you're about to wrap it up, but I had to ask you this question because I talked about this on my live stream earlier. But I saw this thing that was on Twitter, and it was like, how did they say it? They said, "Is liking big butts on white women racist?" I'm like,
yeah,
are we there?
Oh yeah.
Are we there now?
Did they?
He's been there ever since.
Tried to freeze him.
I wanted to hear what you said because you kind of broke up.
Damaj and I just got attacked by YouTube. They try to freeze him from saying big ass white women.
Yeah, you got CIA'd, bro.
All right, say it again. Say it again.
I said, you got to blow me up. I said there was an article on Twitter, and it says, "Is white women? How did they say? Is it white women allowed to have big butts?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Is
they allowed to have them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they allowed?
Is white women with big butts now racist?
Are they allowed to have big butts? What does that mean?
Yeah, pull that up because.
So to be anti-racist, do you have to get a butt reduction?
Yeah, like what happens?
Yeah, so essentially, it's the same people that are saying that big butts are cultural appropriation and that white women have big butts. They're appropriating black women.
Are they not from the South? Because it's just the North.
Are they not from Earth? That's not how humans work.
Yeah, as a young person,
I feel like we're missing something of this story. What exactly is the story proposed? What is the question they're actually putting out there?
I'm getting it for you. I'm getting it for you, Mark.
While he does that, we'll look at Legion of Memers.
Hang on, I'm verified. Maybe
so are white women not allowed to do squats anymore? Is that what they're saying?
No. I mean, well, dang.
What in the world?
This is Legion of Memers. We got this one from Horny Alf. First dump of 2023. Thank you, buddy, Horny Alf. Next one we got from Horny Alf again, showing. At least it doesn't have pineapple on it. At least it doesn't have pineapple on it. Thank you. Thank you.
At least half of it's pepperoni.
Jalapeno.
Don't knock until you try.
No, the other half.
That's Sporking Batman. Sporking Batman. Oh my God, that looks too real.
It is. It does look like you, man. You got little like chicken legs.
I am under tall. That's a great one. Thank you. That was Gumby Spawn. Thank you.
Wait, what the
Gumby
hell was
Spawn.
that shit?
That's you,
this
bro.
one is from the lovely Sherry, who says,
Sherry.
"Who's the daddy?" I love how you're wearing her merch too while you're at it.
Yeah.
That's not happening again.
That's your Sherry bump.
Hope you're ready
And
for that
then-
return policy activation.
Toxic Man Flu showing you do look like Captain Caveman. And this is, I will yell at your kids on your lawn for money. We'll get Mad Mardigan out of your bushes for free.
That's true.
Hi, I rotate which one I'm in. So comics
Dude,
can't find me.
He quickly gets upset at bologna sausage.
This is true.
I love that. We only have a couple more. This is Gumby Spawn again, Hollywood superheroes
no.
forced retirement home.
Damn.
I like that. And that was the last one that I've seen so far. I'll keep you all updated. Do you have the article?
Yep, it's up.
All right.
There you go.
Whoa!
White women allowed to have big butts.
Yes.
Well, can we? Do we have time to at least scan this article?
That's
By the
where
way,
we
check
get
the
hard
sub
shit.
headline. Is it racist to like big butts?
Well, if it is,
Like big.
Wait, those are two entirely different.
if
thing.
it's racist to like big butts, then call me Billy Joe something. I don't know.
Listen, what's his name?
Wait, is that a bad Santa reference?
I was trying, but I couldn't think of something.
No,
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton? Is that what you were?
No, I was going. He's not racist.
No, but he
likes big butts in that movie.
Well, he liked doing it in the butt. He has a size.
I kind of feel like this just goes back to sort of what we were talking about before, because one of the things you're seeing a lot of is women sort of getting in the gym, getting fit, getting that butt big, which is attracting guys. Okay, so now you have men and women attracted to each other, and that doesn't align with their plans.
I think it's just a lot of women don't
but-
like competition. So it's like if other women start like looking better, and then like that pool like gets bigger, then people just get angry. So we get like really dumb articles like this.
Oh, okay.
I
So
know who's this Kat
I think the
Rosenfield
feminists
wrote this.
don't like it.
well, they make this argument. Oh, if you date an Asian, you're racist because you're fantasizing, not fantasizing. What is it? What am I
Yeah.
looking for? Fetishizing.
Yeah.
Fetishizing,
Asian
fetishizing,
women,
yeah.
right?
Please tell me. Well, that's stupid.
I mean, they accuse Bill Burr of being racist,
Racist, right.
because he's married to a black
White.
woman.
Yeah, he's white.
Yeah.
Black.
That is so messed up.
I like the name of the book, Butts, a backstory.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I know is that she is been nominated for an Edgar Award for her book. No One Will Miss Her. That must be her autobiography.
No one wants to see
Another-
her with a flat ass. That's
another
correct.
thing too, but see, this is the thing though. This sort of androgynous boy body
Yeah,
is what
screw
they've
that.
been promoting in media, right?
Well,
Yeah.
They don't promote the hourglass shape anymore. They don't promote women who have bodies, like who have shape.
and they did that in the early 90s too, Jane, with the heroin chic girls.
Yeah.
You know, the Kate Mosses of the world, which I was always like, why is that? Like, that's no. And then you got like J-Lo who came out and Beyonce, and it was like, thank you for bringing butts back. If it wasn't for Sir Mix-a-Lot, like holding ground, like we might have lost it forever.
Holding
We
ground.
might have lost big butts. Yeah, we could have evolved to where women no longer had big butts because of
I mean,
it
it was
being
definitely
oppressed.
Sir Mix-a-Lot
Listen,
that
I'm
preserved.
pop
not.
culture,
I'm not a
maybe.
fan. I'm not a fan of Nasitol. I'm not a fan of that. So if you have Nasitol, you need to work on that. That's all.
But it's so frustrating, honestly,
just got what
when
you said.
you watch these movies and TV shows and you can't tell that the women are even women. Like that, they don't understand how absolutely frustrating that is as a woman to see that.
It's wrong. You can't confuse bros like that. If you're showing who should be a man, and then you're like, as a woman, that's confusing us. How are we gonna know who's playing on whose team on volleyball?
Yeah, look.
You know,
I
I
love-
sorry, I just remembered the name that I was trying to think of. It was Clayton Bigsby, the one that Dave Chappelle said.
Oh,
I was like, if liking butts is racist, then I guess I'm Clayton Bigsby.
Oh, it's great.
I have to tell you that like, did you guys watch that series Mad Men, or is that just for
Yep.
people my age?
Oh, Memin?
Mad Men, yeah. So
Mad
you
Men.
remember the redhead in there?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, from Happen Leonard, one of the most underrated series. It's on Netflix. You should check it out.
Christina Hendricks.
Christina Hendricks, yes.
Christina Hendricks is one of the most beautiful people on the planet.
She's a redhead.
She's not thin. She got assets, front and back, and gentlemen like that. I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, she's a redhead though.
Racist.
Redheads are awesome.
Well, she'll be.
We don't have time for me to go into that bit about.
So
redheads.
let me just tell you something. I'm going way back to something we were talking about before. I took my kids to see a movie. I don't know if I told this one yet. And my 5-year-old, who is like the sweetest child in the world, who doesn't get anything outside of her world, nothing. I mean, the stories she comes up with were fantastic, but The Little Mermaid came on and she started hearing the music and she's like, oh, all excited. And she looks up and then all of a sudden it's in, the young lady live action. And she looks at me, she goes, Dad, that's wrong. And I'm like, oh, there's too many people. Like, what is she going to say? And she goes,
oh no,
her hair it's not red enough and there's something wrong with it. I just don't understand. And then I was like, oh, thank God. I'm like, well, it's a different take on the mermaid. I don't know. And she goes, I don't think she's the same color either, Dad. I was like, okay, all right.
Oh shit.
I was like, yep. She's not.
But it's true. Like I said from the very beginning, and I got trashed. Like people were so mad on Twitter when I was talking about her hair not being right. To me, that's iconic Ariel. Like it's not a human hair color, so you can't say, "Oh, you're going to whitewash her." I mean, she's white to begin with, but give her the red, give her the bright red, ridiculously red hair. That is iconic Ariel. Like the two things go hand in hand. That's what distinguished her from her sisters. So why wouldn't you do that?
Mark,
at the very least, you could do that.
Right.
We've discussed this all the time, Mark, and I know we've probably had 1,000 times on your channel too. But what we always say is like you have thousands of years that you can go back and find some actual African folklore.
Yep.
And tell a story from actual African folklore rather than go to European folklore to change it and say, "Oh, guess what? Here you go, brown boy. Here's the white version of the brown thing that you wanted." No, how about you tell me your story? Educate me. Give me something new, something fresh.
You know why they don't do that? Because doing that in and of itself is a risk. I mean, it's like we talked about this when they race swap like superhero characters. There's a waterfall of like black characters in the superhero realm that Hollywood hasn't done a TV show, a comic book, or a movie about in years that are still popular characters.
They canceled Black Lightning. The Black Lightning. And Luke Cage, right? I know I'm one of the few people who like Luke Cage, but I like the Luke Cage stuff. I'm like, why are you canceling?
You're not racist.
The audacity of them trying to pull off that Godfather scene at the end of the Luke.
But here's the thing though, like the fact that they're not as well known as like a Superman or a Batman means there's a risk. I mean, they would actually have to take in the effort and the time to get the audiences to learn about these characters and to actually get them to accept these characters. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that with anything.
I have a counter to that. We just said it. The counter is we have decades upon decades of actual comic fans.
Right.
See, the problem is they are trying to get this audience that don't really buy their stuff, and then once they get rid of us, they realize, hey, wait a minute, we're not making the money. AKA Disney's in $1 billion or what? How many billions they in the hole now because they courted the wrong audience.
Right. But are they really though? Because the thing is, it seems to me that it's just pure pandering. Because like you said, there are tons of stories that look, none of these fairy tales are original. I recently discovered they're practically universal. So you could get your mermaid stories, your Cinderella stories, all these other things from other cultures that exist, that have been existing for thousands of years. And who doesn't want to see that? Personally, I'm tired of the same old stories and the reboots and the reimaginings and the race swaps and all of this. Give us something new. Go somewhere else. But they don't want to do that because it would cost money and it is a risk. But I thought Black Panther proved to them that it can make money if you just take a chance on it.
But this is the problem because you're dealing with
Hans Christian Andersen is responsible for a lot of the stories that Disney, Pinocchio and all that. In his was a collection of stories. They weren't even his. That's how far back it all goes.
They were myths. They were parables. No, not parables.
One quick thing though, the reason why they're not wanting to take a risk is because they got rid of the mid-budget movie. So they have less incentive to try a new character
Well, they're gonna.
And I was just about to bring that up real quick. The reason why is because everything that you see on television and movies these days is pretty much owned and run by about 4 or 5 major studios, and that list is getting smaller by the day. Yeah. And like I said, you're dealing with corporations who don't care about taking a chance on smaller projects. They just want to see big returns on movies. So they just feel like that's why you don't see mid-budget movies anymore. Because it's like, okay, we're not going to get enough money off of doing this project and spending money and months and time to get this one done. So we're just going to go with something that we think will be a hit,
or because they don't, the consumer doesn't have another option. It's the Madden effect. Madden's the only NFL licensed game, so they don't have any incentive to improve their shit because the majority of people are going to buy it because it is the only game. No culture. I'm not going to pre-order it this year.
Okay.
Let me read this real quick. Toxic Man flew for $20 because it was 24 minutes ago, and he pointed that out. I'm sorry I missed it. The beautiful Toxic Man flew. I don't watch live streams. I'm not on, but glad I took pity on Scott today and saw the Red Gun tea commercial. I made it. I was about to buy Blue Firearm soy milk, but now I'll get Red Pistol Cola, whatever. I wasn't really paying attention to it.
Okay, listen. I'm about to start putting copyrights on all of my bits.
Like how I say I'm a YouTuber's YouTuber?
Yeah, like that. That's a part of my theme song.
Come on.
Dude, I can't believe people would actually steal your jokes. Who would do that?
It's ridiculous.
You know what? I will say this though. I don't know how many you have seen American Gods.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But when they focus on the African folktale characters,
oh yeah,
like some of the best episodes in the series.
Okay,
Orlando.
question.
What's his name?
Would anybody live in the vagina? Anybody? It seemed very pleasant.
That was bizarre.
Didn't it seem pleasant?
Oh, well,
I was in the show, but they went off the rails with the dude on the swing. That was too much for me. Well, we don't have to spend the entire episode at this party. We get it. You established it was a thing happening.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I didn't have my 3D glasses on because it was coming right at me.
Yeah, there was dong.
Let's just say too, guys, that Black people spend trillions of dollars.
Yes.
Like we're like what the number one consumers. Just spending money. Don't let anybody tell you there's no money in the hood. Black people love to just spend. Mm-hmm. So they'd rather, blackwash some of these characters, make them feel special. Black people love to be seen, right? We love to be represented rather than own anything. Mm-hmm. But if you actually start throwing out characters that were created by and conceived of and owned by Black people, then you're going to start losing that money, that trillions of dollars. So give them their Black Superman.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like give them their Black whatever and get that money. But when you talk about real characters, all of a sudden it's a question about whether or not Black people will, whether you can open up a Black movie. Black people are spending money at these things anyway. It's just a matter of who owns it. Yeah. And that's the reason why they're doing this.
But this is the thing,
in the hood, man.
I
Gator
want to
boots
one quick thing on that point too, because Black Panther, the original, when they came out, one of the things I will never let them forget is that they did not have merchandise available. They did it. They made the movie, but they didn't think it would be popular. They didn't think it would sell. Right. And that is so insulting to the entire country, both white and Black, that they did not have any faith in it whatsoever.
Right. In Jane, what film was that for?
Which one?
Black Panther.
Black Panther?
Do you know what else they weren't prepared for?
What?
Well, they were not prepared for
T'Challa dying? Oh,
right.
They had nothing available for Frozen. It took them a year to get something for Frozen.
Which is crazy to think about.
Okay,
Star Wars, same thing. You had to pre-order the
white
Star
guy
Wars
talks about
figures.
a white show, huh?
It was insane, right? And then I think they did the Baby Yoda thing, right?
Oh,
Disney is fatally unprepared for things to be successful. They're really bad at it.
They don't know their
I can't
audience.
believe I didn't get to finish my still fly joke.
Well, Toxic Man Flu tipped $10. He wants to say, I shamelessly steal Mad's funny jokes and funny comedy bits as soon as he makes some.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did funny stuff.
See, you tried to be funny there, Toxic, but your grammar hampered your ability to pull off the joke.
So wait, his grammar is the reason he's not funny.
Well, no, this bit, what I said was it kept because as soon as he makes them, as soon as I make it, he takes it. What he was trying to say was if he ever made any, I would steal it, but he hasn't made any yet.
Yes, but he was trying to be softer about it. Yeah.
Somebody
Well, he went
mentioned
too
that,
soft.
Been known toxic to be is soft.
Yeah, because you're really sensitive.
Who?
You.
No, I just don't like to hear anything negative about me.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned the Black Superman, but here's what I find interesting about that. The race swapped one is going to be given a movie, apparently. And the one that's like a cousin or somebody just from the planet is going to get a TV show.
That's weird.
Like, why would you do that?
I guess you guys are just gonna have to hold your breath and never getting a Blue Marvel movie, huh?
What's happening now?
Something is happening. You know what's happening? That's our show, people. We had a good show, man. We went what? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just you're in
the time
know.
is like up on the screen.
Yeah, no, he was just interrupting you to say he agrees with
First of all, I have the queen in the middle, and then it was a circle of shades.
Yes,
that's true. Actually,
Yeah,
I totally
all
didn't
of
put
us on
people-
this side.
I don't know what you're talking
now he's
about.
twisted.
You guys are
I don't
such
know what he's
idiots.
talking. It's about perspective. I'm looking from top to bottom. From
There
top
you
to
go,
bottom,
brother.
it's good. But he's going
This makes
from
sense
this way
though.
to
I'm
that
black
way.
adjacent. So
It's all
Wait a
about
minute, it just got-
perception.
It just got confusing again.
Mark's the most handsomest though.
So now you just moved all the white guys to the right side of the screen. Was
Yeah.
that the better side of the screen?
Yeah,
Is that
like,
you're
what
trying to
What,
do
you just
now?
didn't know where to
there?
put me? You didn't know how
No,
to
that
classify
wasn't
my
me.
existence?
I have no
You're
control
adjacent.
over the show.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Maybe we'll do the commercial for the outro. Do you have your commercial?
No, I don't have it uploaded.
Oh, that's great.
I'm
Thanks.
using it on my video, so I'm not going to overuse it on this.
It really
on your
is.
channel.
My video?
I have a commercial you can run.
All right, let's run this commercial. Ready, everybody? We're going to watch this, and then we're just going to end very abruptly.
What the fuck?
In my dream.
Do you ever dream of heading out to the country? Would you like to ride out on the range?
I legit have all these videos
We've got
for
the
mine.
new ranch that we know you want to come to. Out at Division Ranch, out here on the plains. Let's take you down to Dick's Division country. Let's get you
Doesn't say Sporking
out,
anywhere, I see.
out there on the range. You'll learn to yell each and every Monday.
It's terrifying.
And throw down well on those days.
How is this an ad?
I don't know. I can't even make a commercial.
Nick cooks the meals. Hope you like pizza. Tosh signs the deals. That's why we don't get paid. Corey will read and do his funny
Are any of us on this panel with you in this commercial?
No, it's just him. He wanted to be seen.
Oh, hi, fine, Nick. You know, I'm a part of
Let's
it.
take you down to Dick's Division country. Let's get you out there on the range.
When can I stop it before it gets messed up?
Each and every Monday.
This has nothing to do with this.
Well,
You're on there in a minute.
on those days. Brothers of the drinks.
Wow, it's still going.
Yeah, it hasn't ended. Am I there? No, not me.
Get to the point eventually. George West and the Patriots drew.
Well, George makes it. Guess you have to have a lot of subs.
Dick's Division ranches for you and I'm down here on your Let's take you down.
That's not me.
To Dick's Division country. Let's get you out here on the range. You'll learn to yell.
I am.
Oh, hey, I'm
okay.
way stuck
Wow,
in the
you're
fucking
the
back.
And throw down well.
Oh, it made me feel so much better that you're all the way in the back. Oh, that was fantastic. That was a really good commercial.
Thursdays, everybody.
Well, it's a good way to pad another 15 minutes to
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's you, Mad. You are Madam Web.
Week,
Oh,
make
no.
it on there. Get George's
Monkey
there.
Jeebus made you Madam Web.
Trans representation.
that's good.
Toxic. Get off my lawn. That looks just like you. That's fantastic.
Oh, hey, I have one of culture like that. I did the same clip.
I'm not
That's good.
happy about any of those things.
Well, it just you look like it. All right, thanks everybody. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good time. I don't know what to end with because I don't have channel members
Structure,
anymore
order?
because I used to have channel members, right? I
Yeah,
don't
what
have any
happened?
structure or order either. I got
It is a reminder. I've been here when it
How
was
dare
glory
you?
old
We're about
days,
to
and
win
I've
the
been here when
division.
it wasn't. And so,
I didn't
having
even
said
do that.
I want me some glory hole.
Sporking thought.
It's not his baby. That's a.
Nope.
It's not his baby.
Somebody got muted. All right. Anyways,
Speaking of football, the Houston Oilers are about to lose right now, so I mean that's a good thing. Or as you millennials might know them as the Tennessee Titans.
Houston Oilers #1.
So we're gonna go out with this.
Wait, who's Tennessee playing tonight? Raiders.
Jacksonville.
No, Raiders.
Jacksonville.
The Raiders lost.
No,
Right?
the Raiders are not playing any meaningful football games at this time.
Well, yeah, but they still have to finish out the season.
Good stuff. Join us Monday night on Aluminum Spork.
How are the Patriots doing, Scott?
They really.
I hate you.
Come on! You had a long enough run.
Hey, am I in this one?
Yeah,
What?
right
No.
there, right there. Oh, you missed it.
Yeah, the Patriots are about to lose by like 50.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's me.
Huh? Maybe it was more Tom than it was Bill.
You know what? I don't give a shit who it was. I got like 6 freaking Super Bowls. Thank you.
You?
Well, not me personally. Shut up, Jane.
Jay, it's a guy thing. You wouldn't understand.
I can't believe I said it like that.
No, you are correct because we have 5, about to get our 6. The Cowboys.
Oh, please. Jesus will be on Monday Night Show.
Yes, I am.